I'm Dylan Runne, and you're watching H1 Unlimited on YouTube.
Side by side! This is for the checkered flag!
Yakima County, Battalion 4, Lower Division. Division, hospital.
Hello, race fans, and welcome to the Tri-Cities of Washington in southeastern Washington State. My name is Brad Luce, along with Dustin Eccles. We are on the start-finish line of the 2.5-mile Aqua Oval on the Columbia River as it flows between the communities of Pasco, Kennewick, and Richland. We had quite a day on the water yesterday, and we were just getting started for our 3-day event, which is the 2026 Apollo Columbia Cup. On my clock right now, it is just a minute or two after 8 a.m. We were hoping to get the course open at 8. We've still got a couple of buoys to put in place, but my understanding is that will happen quickly. And then we are going to go back to qualifying. We had our first round of qualifying yesterday, and Dustin Eccles, I want to bring you in on this one because you and I had some fun. That was quite the qualifying session.
It was pretty intense. I think that's the best way to describe it. I mean, every time a boat would go out, we were blown away at how fast they were running. And the fact that they had all night to get these boats dialed in for this course, and they got nice, cool air today, this is going to be a hot one.
And we want to welcome in our fans along the shoreline here in Columbia Park on the banks of the Columbia River. We are on the public address system here for the first time on the H1 Unlimited YouTube channel, and we are very, very happy to be here. And Dustin, our fans that are watching on the YouTube channel are able to see our live view qualifying ladder from yesterday. Those of you here in the park can't, but let's just take the top 5 numbers. 164, 163, 161, 160, 160. Well, let's throw in a 159 right behind that. That's unbelievable.
I mean, it's so incredible how close these guys are. And, you know, the big story right there, look where the 40 is. Right now, they're number 3. The 11, number 4. And they are so close. Both of those teams, I spoke with them last night, they have more in the tank. They're looking to step it up. And surprisingly enough, when I went down and talked to some of the guys on the 2017, they said, so do we. We're going to try to up this thing today too. So J. Michael Kelly, you know, he's not where he wants to be. They want to definitely be towards the top of the leaderboard. And this is where that strategy comes into play. You know, you want to be in a certain place in that qualifying ladder to make sure that you get the lane that you want. So a lot of different strategies taking place right now.
And even beyond the lane choice, right now the top 2 qualifiers are Jimmy Shane and Andrew Tate. That's the way they want to be. They want to be 1-2 or 2-3 or 3-4. They want to be right behind each other because remember, it's these qualifying speeds that determine who races against who in our first heats. And as long as they're 1-2 or 2-3, they don't run against each other. The same can be said for Corey Peabody and J. Michael Kelly. They're right next to each other. So right now, they would probably say, great, let us go test. And we'll take this ladder, whatever the numbers might be, because they're not racing each other. But as soon as somebody like a Dylan Runne, who's about 1.5 miles behind Andrew Tate, once he jumps over the top of him, oh, then the action's going to get good. Fans, this is going to be fun. It's cooler now. We did these speeds yesterday in the heat of yesterday afternoon. Nice and cool right now, and that means more horsepower, right?
Absolutely, yeah. The tuners are going to be dialing these things up and seeing what kind of speed they can get out of them. This is where horsepower is made. This type of nice, cool air. The water conditions are perfect. I mean, this is ideal for course records.
So, don't go away. We are getting this course put in place. We are going to be back very shortly, but we wanted to come on and let you know we are here. We are ready to go. Buoys are being placed very rapidly. We've got a few of them out in front of us, and you're seeing there on the screen a few more buoys that have to be set. They do it quickly here in the Tri-Cities. Somebody said 30 minutes. That was 15 minutes ago. So I think we're close. Everybody's chomping at the bit. Don't go away. Brad Luce for Dustin Eccles and Danny Rogers will be down in the pit area. We'll be back as soon as they put a green flag on the race course, and I don't think you want to miss this. It's going to be fun. Don't go away.
19 unlimited hydroplanes made appearances in the 10-race 1986 season. Race teams set mileage records by returning to the East Coast for late-season events in Syracuse and Philadelphia. The unsuccessful attempt to race on the Delaware River in Pennsylvania was eventually declared no contest after a windy weekend.
We're all disappointed, of course, that we're unable to complete the event, but that river has taken its toll. The water isn't getting any better, and our boats are pretty badly damaged. So with safety in mind, we really don't want to jeopardize the drivers. I think it's best for all. We've had a good day of racing to call it an event.
When the rooster tails subsided after the last race of the season on Lake Mead near Las Vegas, the turbine-powered Miss Budweiser was the new world champion by the narrowest of margins, 31 points. Bernie Little's beer wagon, chauffeured by Jim Kropfeld, had amassed 8,500 points on the 10-race tour. The rival beer boat, the Miller American, also turbine-powered, finished second with 84.69. After battling back and forth all summer, the entire season boiled down to a single heat of 12.5 miles around an oval-shaped 2.5-mile course. As the boats took to the water for one last time in 1986, the 1985 season champion Miller and pilot Chip Hanauer still maintained a 69-point lead over Kropfeld and the Bud.
There's the starting gun. The Budweiser across the starting line first. In lane number 4 as they come into the south turn. The water being kind, pretty calm right now, and here comes the Bud, a calm water boat. Jim Kropfeld with the lead going into the turn. Anyway, around the turn, 7-Eleven in lane number 1. The Budweiser lane 2. Something happened to the 7-Eleven as it cut onto the infield. It missed a buoy, I believe. The Budweiser going into first place. We don't know what happened between the Budweiser and the 7-Eleven. The 7-Eleven coming back up, though. We'll have to check and see what happened there. They may have bumped. We don't know yet. The Budweiser, first place, Kropfeld. Two very competitive drivers, Kropfeld and Steve Reynolds. Reynolds now electing to go to the outside in the 7-Eleven in second place. Budweiser in first, the Miller American way back. And of course, that's the key. If the Budweiser finishes ahead of the Miller American at third place or better, the national title goes to the Budweiser. Look at the damage to this boat. I can't believe how fast Reynolds is moving. He's actually cutting away at the lead of the Budweiser, coming up near the rooster tail. In second place, however, is the Miller American. But here comes your national champion, the Budweiser. Kropfeld, winner in the Budweiser Silver Cup and the 1986 national champion, the Bud and Kropfeld. 7-Eleven getting fourth place in the standings, physically coming in second place and badly damaged. Second place officially going to the Miller American.
Well, I didn't have to do much. I just kind of went out and drove. The guys been working their tail off for months on this thing. It's just a fantastic piece of equipment. It's a heck of a way to go out for the season. Conditions were pretty good today too, weren't they? That didn't hurt any. Yeah, it was real good. And you know, we had a good race that last heat. And Steve Reynolds and I down the first turn. We bumped coming off a 2 pretty hard there. And I don't know if Steve got any damage, but I think I left him enough room. And I'm sorry if things like that happen. You know, we're racing.
Miss Bud's victory at Las Vegas marked the third race win of 1986 for the Anheuser-Busch-sponsored craft. The Budweiser team also scored a sensational win at Evansville, Indiana, on the Ohio River. Kropfeld ran head-to-head for 4 laps of the final heat with Tom Deek and the Joe Ritchie Spirit of America before pulling away for the victory.
The big red boat in first place. The turbines, all 3 of them behind him. Budweiser in second place. Looks like the 7-Eleven is in third. There's the lead. You see all 4 boats. The 7-Eleven in lane 1. Lane 3 is the Budweiser. And again, after 3 laps, it is the Joe Ritchie Spirit of Detroit. They're on lap number 4. The Budweiser moving up from the outside as they go into a very, very choppy first turn now here on the Ohio River. There's the Budweiser. Oh, look at the water that Kropfeld's running into. Now they got traffic. Jack Schaefer in that conventional boat doing a little blocking. And look at Tom DeHeath able to squirt through and hold on to first place. Tom DeHeath fighting off the turbines with a Merlin engine-powered boat. And here comes Kropfeld on the outside. Look at these 2 veterans going at it head-to-head around the second turn. We're on lap 4. Third place, the 7-Eleven with Steve Reynolds. down the main straightaway again, but Tom Dees holding on, but here comes Kropfeld, 1 lap to go. The Budweiser crew waiting for their driver to make a move. This is one of the best finals I've seen in a decade. But here comes your leader and apparent winner of the Budweiser Thunder on the Ohio. Jim Kropfeld takes first place, and first place for Bernie Little, the Budweiser. Second place going to Tom Dees and a sensational performance for the Joe Ritchie. Third place, 7-Eleven. Fourth place, the Miller American. Going past the Detroit Yacht Club, where it's always very, very choppy and very narrow as you see him come around in the skid.
Miller American owner Fran Muncy and pilot Hanauer won 5 of the 9 battles during 1986, but lost the war. The team failed to score a point at Miami in the wake of crew chief Jim Lucero's departure just a few weeks prior.
All 5 boats are now running for the start of the final here in the 1986 Budweiser Gold Cup.
At the next race in Detroit, the Miller team faced an awesome challenge. Their driver had a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to tie Gar Wood's all-time record of winning 5 consecutive Gold Cups. After winning each of its 3 preliminary heats, Miller American trailed Ron Snyder and Holset Miss Madison over the starting line in the final.
Coming up on lane number 1, it looks like it's the Miller American coming around the turn. It is Chip Hanauer and the Miller American trying to chase Garwood's Ghost, possibly winning his 5th straight Gold Cup. He won his first here in Detroit in 1982, and he is screaming down the back chute at his father, Stan Hanauer, watching from the Miller American camp. Look at the air under the boat, the water throwing the boat around as he comes around that tight rooster tail turn on lap number 1. The crew got the boat ready, and right now he's in first place. And the team beginning to sense that maybe they can tie history and go along in the record books along with Gar Wood. Chip Hanauer in first place, second place. Jim Kropfeld airing out the Budweiser turbine trying to catch Hanauer. Here's the Bud Griffin overtaking 4th place now. He is now in 4th, and the Halston Miss Madison dropping back to 5th. Back down the main chute again. Hanauer coming towards a right turn camera and the Belle Isle turn. The 7-Eleven going to have to limp home without any kind of stabilizer wing in the back, and he has now fallen into 4th place. But here he comes. He is going to tie Garwood's record. A 65-year-old record is now tied by Chip Hanauer and the Miller American, winner of the 86 Budweiser Gold Cup. Second place in a great effort on the part of Jim Kropfeld and the Bud Turbine. Let the celebration begin.
Chip, who is Garwood anyway? I don't know. I never met the man, but he sure gave us something to shoot at.
It seems so appropriate that you get the 5th one here in Detroit after getting the 1st one in Detroit.
I know. This is I don't deserve to have a life like this. I mean, I never dreamed it could be like that. I mean, I'm speechless, and I just have nothing to do but thank all these people who just gave so much under the worst circumstances. Never said die. I'm just really happy.
One race question. Were you aware your last lap was 128, Chip? You were flying out there. Congratulations.
Oh,
Franny, I want to talk to you too. This is incredible for you as well.
Oh, it certainly is. This is such a wonderful win. It means so much to us, and thanks to Lance Morris and John Walters, and Chip is the best driver ever. Charlie, the whole crew.
It had taken 65 years, but Chip Hanauer had finally duplicated Gar Wood's incredible achievement.
And here we go for the start, the final of the Budweiser Indiana Governor's Cup.
Hanauer and his new crew chief, John Walters, went on to win the following week at Madison. Here, too, the Miller had to earn the victory the hard way, holding off a determined Jim Kropfeld and Miss Budweiser, Scott Pierce in the Rolls-Royce Griffin-powered Miss Budweiser 2, and Tom Dees in the Joe Ritchie Spirit of America. After Madison, the Hanauer-Walters-Muncy combination finished 4th at Evansville, went on to take 3 in a row at Tri-Cities, Seattle, and Syracuse, winning 8 out of 9 heats entered and finishing 2nd to Miss Budweiser once. Steve Woomer's competition specialties team, which campaigned under the banner of Miss 7-Eleven, showed a marked improvement in the second half of the season, following the hiring of Jim Lucero as consultant. With Lucero's help, the team took 3rd at Seattle, 2nd at Syracuse, 5th at San Diego, 4th at Las Vegas, and 3rd in high points, with Steve Reynolds at the wheel. The community-owned Miss Madison from southern Indiana turned in another fine account of itself in its 14th season. And while most of the other rear cockpit forward engine boats had been retired in deference to the cab-over design, Miss M just kept running and running and running, all the way to 4th place in season points. Driven by Ron Snyder, the Hurricane Hoosiers' best finish was a 2nd place at Miami, where she outran the newer and more powerful Miss Budweiser too. Snyder sustained minor injuries when the Allison-powered craft hooked and threw him out during the 2nd heat at Evansville.
Look out! The Holson Miss Madison has hooked and thrown Ron Snyder into the water. He is moving. You can see him waving his arms. The boat has gone dead. Of course, the race has been stopped. The face screen has been ripped completely off the helmet of Ron Snyder. The boats are slowing down. That's the Risley's Express going by. You see the rescue divers going in to assist Snyder.
Well, it's kind of crazy. You know, I come around the corner and everything looked good, and Cropfield was right ahead of me, and he shot on the inside of Squire's shop, and there I was. Next thing I know, I'm in the water. Basically, nobody can really tell. There's so much water stirred up at the time, and the shots that were taken, we really can't see it, but all I know, I was in the air and went out the wrong side of the boat. Leave it up to me.
While Ron recovered, Jerry Hopp and Andy Coker filled in for him. Jim Saddam's U-22, also from Madison, had a rocky time of it, trying to perfect their carbureted turbocharging setup on the Allison engine. They nevertheless managed to finish 5th in high points with Todd Yarling at the wheel. Racing in Evansville as Risley's Express and with other sponsors during the season, the craft took 2nd at San Diego, 3rd at Syracuse, and 4th at Miami.
Express back in 5th place right now. And in 6th is the Freedom Festival.
Running as Joe Ritchie Spirit of America in the east and as the Squire Shop in the west, the Big Red U-2 tied down a trio of 2nd place finishes at Evansville, Tri-Cities, and Seattle, and a 4th place at Madison. The final heat of the Evansville race in particular was a standout, with pilot Tom Deeth holding off 3 turbine boats for 4 of the 5 laps and proving that the piston engine in unlimited racing wasn't dead yet.
Who would have believed it after 1 lap? A piston-powered boat running away from 3 turbine-powered boats. Budweiser 2nd. The Merlin engine ahead of the 3 turbines. What a surprise and a great start on the part of Tom Deeth.
Bill Worcester's Executone of 1985 became Duncan Hines' Mr. Pringles on a small scale in 1986 and showed enough promise to give the Worcester camp hope for a well-sponsored future.
You're looking at the Arcadian Motor Carriers Special, a new concept in racing. 8 Mercury engines power this boat.
By far the most unusual entry of the year was Jim Hohenstein's Arcadian, a big orange tunnel hull designed by Marcel Belleville. The craft tried the course at San Diego and Las Vegas, but failed to reach qualifying speeds. The 1986 season proved an exercise in frustration for the Al Thorson Jerry Hopp-owned U-7, also for Bill McFadden's U-4. Both teams tried hard, but experienced difficulty with their turbocharged Allison engines. The U-7's best showing was a 7th place finish in a 12-boat field at Las Vegas. The U-4 did likewise at San Diego. The biggest surprise, one of the biggest ever, was the only victory for Bob Patterson's 19-year-old U-80, racing as Miss Bahia in San Diego. The weekend began with Hanauer and the Miller American catching fire and failing to qualify. Saltwater woes eventually eliminated the rest of the turbine field, and Ron Armstrong drove the old turbo Allison-powered hull to a popular upset victory.
It feels so good. I mean, I just can't even describe it. Like I said before, it almost feels as good as my little daughter was born. Special feeling. I knew the turbines were having trouble, and when I came around on the start, it just felt like this was the day. This was the day for the win.
Other boats making appearances in 1986 included Jerry Kenny's Frank Kenny Toyota Volvo. Milner Irvin drove the former Griffin Bud with turbo Allison power. Chuck Hickling's tunnel boat Tempest was back, driven by California's Jack Schaefer Jr. And Mike Hansen's first unlimited ride, Fred Leland's boat, raced in Seattle as the AA Auto Parts. In a postseason test in the Tri-Cities, Steve Reynolds' Miss 711 lost a skid fin, and the sport's new safety canopy was tested.
I knew I was in trouble. In fact, I think I said either something like, uh-oh, or we're in trouble on the radio just as it happened, because the boat turned sideways and the steering went all the way over to the lock. The boat is badly, badly damaged, and yet the canopy is 100% intact. Now, I remained, breathing on my own air. Radio system still worked. The canopy, or the boat, the cockpit was full of water, about up to my waist. But the seat belts and the canopy are a must.
Hello, race fans, and welcome back to the Tri-Cities of Washington and the Columbia River as it flows past the communities of Pasco, Kennewick, and Richland. I am Brad Luce, the voice of H1 Unlimited. We are getting ready to go qualifying, and I know our fans along the shoreline here in Columbia Park and our fans who are listening to us and watching us on the H1 Unlimited YouTube channel are kind of scratching their head, and they're going, Brad, you've been telling us that now for an hour. Just about an hour. We were supposed to go on at 8 o'clock. We are, believe it or not, still, we've got a bit of an issue with a couple of buoys that just do not want to stay in place down in turn 1. We've got boats down there working on it. Trust me, everybody in this park wants to get boats on the water. Our conditions right now are absolutely outstanding. And as I hate to say at Unlimited Races, we are wasting beautiful water conditions right now. We need to get these boats on the water. We need to get our day underway because we have a big one planned. It is the 2026 Apollo Columbia Cup. Dustin Eccles is going to come back and join me in a little bit when we start to get the boats on the water. We will again have our Danny Rogers down in the pit area. And one good sign that we always look for, nothing happens until our chief referee is on the top floor, and he's climbing the steps right now. So we're hopeful that's a good sign. But it is my great pleasure to welcome to the broadcast here on the start-finish line a young lady by the name of Meg DiBucci, who is with the Behind the Badge Foundation. And I got to know Meg a year ago, well, not quite a year ago, at the H1 Unlimited Awards banquet. And she was involved in that banquet and part of it. But she's been involved with unlimited hydroplane racing for multiple years. And first of all, Meg, welcome to the broadcast.
Hey, thanks, Brad, so much. It's so exciting to be here, and it's just a beautiful morning, so I feel really blessed.
The Behind the Badge Foundation. There's people out there going, haven't heard of this, yet you've been involved, and that was part of what we discussed last year at the awards banquet. Hey, we got to get this out there. Let's get you up here on the live stream and talk about it. So that's why you're here now, young lady. So
yes,
good
sir.
morning.
Good morning.
So Behind the Badge Foundation, give me the thumbnail. What is it?
The very brief version, which I won't go 45 minutes, I promise.
That's an inside joke for those fans out there. It was supposed to be 4 or 5.
No, that's not what I heard. So Behind the Badge Foundation, we are a nonprofit organization centered here in Washington State. We serve law enforcement officers, their families, and their agencies after a line of duty death of an officer or another critical incident. We've also grown from that as our primary mission to be able to also support active law enforcement officers and their families.
When did it begin?
But that's a trick question. So it is a grassroots organization that began on a volunteer level 25, 30 years ago. The few folks got together to organize to build the law enforcement memorial in Olympia. Washington State did not have a law enforcement memorial, and there was a few people that got together to correct that. I was not one of those. I was a cop. I was just a baby cop back then when that started happening. A baby cop. Yep. I'm now a retired cop. So they got together, a few of them, and then as they built the memorial over many years, the foundation grew, and then they turned into sustaining the memorial itself and serving in these instances of critical times. So, and that happened about I think that we were 1997, I want to say, like give or take a year or two.
That's pushing 30 years.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Yes.
Time is ticking.
It's a very established organization, and my participation in it at the level that I'm at now is just about 5 years. I've been fully employed. I was a volunteer with the foundation since 2011.
And what is your role within the foundation now?
I am the Director of Programs and Services, so I oversee all of our programs for active law enforcement, serving our survivors and families, and the maintenance of the Law Enforcement Memorial.
Well, we certainly, all of us, and maybe are totally unaware of you and your foundation, are very appreciative of all that you do. But now let's bring it to the world's fastest race boats. How in the world did you and the Behind the Badge Foundation get involved with H1 Unlimited?
Yeah, so cool. Such a cool experience. We're so grateful for this opportunity and the partnership with H1. It started kind of organically, much like the foundation itself did anyway. For the past 20 years or so, the Strong Racing team has invited surviving families and other first responders from fire, military, law enforcement to their hospitality tent on Fridays, and just as guests. And a couple of years ago, H1, I don't remember who, forgive me please, I know it wasn't you, Brad, I would have remembered. Somebody came to us and said, hey, we would like to do something different. Like how do we improve this? How do we acknowledge the officers themselves? And so 3 years ago at Seafair was the first time that we actually put individual officers' names on boats in partnership with H1. And we invited the families of those officers whose names were on boats to come to the races, and then to be able to go down into the pits, meet the teams, meet the drivers, and to be up close and personal and actually touch their loved one's name on the side of the race boat. And it was magical to watch. At the risk of sounding, I don't know.
No.
It was magical to watch. It was so emotional to watch families who'd lost a loved one go up to these 150-mile-an-hour badass race boats. Oh, can I? Sorry, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that.
You're okay.
Right, they're coming up, and these are just families who've lost a loved one. Maybe it was 6 months ago, and it's still super raw for them. And maybe it was 15, 20 or more years ago. And to be able to walk up and touch their name and then watch that name literally take life and race across the water. If you haven't seen the emotion from these families witnessing that, then you're missing out. And I cannot fully explain what that means.
Well, that actually is a big part of the reason as to why you are right here sitting in this chair right now, because no, we did not get to witness that. And as you and I spoke, and we got our director of marketing involved, I said, we need to get you up here on the microphone so you can explain that to us, because no, we're not down there in the pit area. We don't get to see the emotion on the face of the family members. And you told a couple of stories at the awards banquet. I think you told three of them. But they're extremely touching. Can you get into the particulars of one and tell us one of your favorites?
Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm going to, at the risk of leaving people out, which I'm always aware of, there's a couple, and I think the one that's probably the most poignant, if we want to take the emotional route, is the story of Charlie Cortez with the Tulalip Tribal Police. And Charlie was a young officer who worked up at the tribes in November of 2020. He was on a boat on a very stormy night, and Charlie was lost at sea. He and his partner went down in Puget Sound, and his partner was found several hours later alive, and Charlie was never found. Devastating to lose someone that you love anyway, but then to lose someone you love and not be able to recover them, and to have to live with that knowledge and that loss and the physical loss and not being able to put that to bed. A couple of years ago, we invited Charlie's family to Seafair, where Charlie's name was on a boat, and Dad was really unsure. Dad didn't want to come. Charlie's dad didn't want to come. No. Right. As a father, losing a son anyway, right? Hard to go out and do emotional things. And then on the water. The water is a very sacred place for this family. Sure. As a Native family, they have a different respect and beliefs about the world than some of the rest of us do, and so the water already meant a lot to them. But now this is a sacred place for them because that's where their son was lost. And so Dad was not interested in coming. He did come. I don't know who coerced him or twisted his arm or whatever. It wasn't me. And he came, and he met so many people, and being able to stand at that boat and see his son's name and talk to the driver, and the driver and the team were so welcoming to that family and so understanding and so careful and enthusiastic all at the same time. And Charlie's dad was just, really, really grateful, and that's not a big enough word. And then they got to watch Charlie's name race across the water in this sacred place, and it was just really incredible.
My favorite word that you just used there when you were describing how the race teams and the drivers interacted with Charlie's family was you said they were careful. That just, I really like that. We're talking with Meg DeBucci here from the Behind the Badge Foundation. All right, now let's roll it forward. We've got names on boats down here in the pit area. Tell us, have we got families here this weekend as well?
Yes, we had we had 5 families this weekend, 3 of whom have names on boats this weekend. And then we have some historical names that are on the boats that were killed in the line of duty 50, 75, 100 years ago. So one of the families yesterday, officer's widow, after she had the experience down in the pits, and then saw what is now her boat, by the way, right? We get very possessive of these boats once our officers' names are on them. I too had an officer killed on the line of duty, and his name was on one of the boats the very first year.
I did not know this.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, you left that part out.
Oh, well, because
I understand why.
It's so
that one's tough.
So I own one of these boats is mine, just so you know, and I loan it to a new family every event.
And once in a while, the owner of the boat gets to stick his name in it.
Yes. So yesterday, one of our widows was down there and got to see her husband's name on the boat and have that experience down in the pits, and then see his name racing across the water. And she was wearing sunglasses all day. And I'll tell you, there's a reason that a lot of these families go down there, and maybe some of the race teams or other witnesses see them, and they don't look very emotional. Like, it looks like it's just meh to them. They're hiding their emotions behind their sunglasses. So, and she hid her emotions behind her sunglasses a large part of the day, and if you looked closely, you could see how meaningful it was to her. And she mentioned a couple of times that she's like, I wish I'd have brought my good camera, because I would have liked to get a photo of his name actually on the racetrack racing. So
the part I'm thinking about while I'm listening to you talk, and this is fascinating. We could do this all day. We're going to put some 200-mile-an-hour race boats out here at some point. But we could talk about this forever. But I have to think, as you watch these families and you watch them go through, you can relate, and it's got to be emotional on some level for you. Is there any way you can tell us which boat is yours?
I think I'm supposed to remain neutral. I feel like if I say which one is mine, and then the owner might come at me, like I don't.
Well, you're the owner. You can do whatever you want. No, I think that's awesome. So, let's talk about you and boat racing. Had you ever been to a boat race before, or is this all new?
This is all new.
Yeah, fun?
I'm having a great time. Yeah, it's fantastic. The first year that we put the names on the boats, and my officer's name was on the boat on Friday. I do this for work. This is my work, and I love it, and I'm grateful to do it. I'm very blessed. And on Fridays, when we bring families into this event, I'm on duty, right? So, but my officer's name was also on a boat that year. And I was really grateful to that year have been invited back for Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember which, or both. And I came back just as Meg. And I was able to have my own separate experience where I wasn't working. And I'll tell you, that's when I experienced what our families experienced. Because, right, I didn't really experience it the first day. My officer's name may have been on a boat, but I had 7 other families that I was caring for. And so to have that invitation back, to be able to have that experience for myself was deeply meaningful for me. And then that's when I fell in love with it. That's when I saw the interest in, like, oh, come out to the 100-degree heat and watch these loud. It's like, it's loud and it's hot and crowded, and no, it's so much fun if you're there to have the fun, right? Which I typically am not. I'm there to work. So
yes, but of course, when you came to our awards banquet over here last November, you for lack of a better term, called us all crazies. All the crazies that go
did
out
I?
and do that. Yes, you did.
That
Which
sounds-
was quite accurate.
That sounds like me too. Yeah, that does. I'll feign surprise, but no, that sounds like something I would say.
This is absolutely amazing. And so we've got names on boats here in the Tri-Cities. Next week in Seattle, same thing again.
Yes, 9 more names next weekend, and I believe we are having 5 families that have officers on names on boats next weekend. So
that is very cool. Different names.
Different names next
different
weekend.
Families.
Yes. Yep.
Very, very good. So you've got that all lined up.
All ready to go.
And you'll come up and talk to us again on the pipes at Seafair and tell the fans there what we do.
Hey,
or what you do.
If I'm invited, I'll probably show up.
You're officially invited.
Fantastic.
We are up on the start-finish line just like we are here.
Okay.
So you're going to stay around and stick around and watch some racing, watch a little qualifying?
I need to. Yeah, I need to watch some boats race across the water. Yeah.
That's what they do. She is Meg DeBucci from the Behind the Badge Foundation, and I can tell you, you did this without the sunglasses on, and I know this is an emotional topic.
Yeah.
That has to be hard for you at some times. And by the way, I'm going to tell our fans, check out that photo you're looking at. That is live. And down there at the left end of the dock, I count 4 H1 Unlimited hydroplanes in the water. I do not know if one of those boats belongs to Meg DeBucci. She's not going to tell us. We're going to respect that fact. But maybe we'll get her to stick around here for a moment, because we've got our second round of qualifying coming up. And I don't know if you saw the first one yesterday. It was outstanding.
I did see it, and I got very excited at one point. Yes, I don't know. That's a little Easter egg for you there, but I was very excited yesterday afternoon.
Well, that starts to narrow the field a little bit. But I will tell you that 160 mile per hour average speed, that's the average.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so they're touching $190 by the time they get to the end of these straightaways, and then they just slam it into the corner. So, but you saw it. You've seen this before. But the 160 mile per hour barrier is remembered.
You didn't tell me it was Dustin Eccles. He just introduced you as Dustin. Well, now I know. Now I got to turn all excited and groupie and like. It's very nice to meet you, Dustin Eccles. Not just Dustin. It's not just Dustin. Come on, Brad. Help a girl out.
I didn't introduce you. Somebody else did.
Oh, right.
I think that was Denslow.
Oh, yeah. Let's blame it on Mike.
Let's blame it on Mike.
Okay,
That's
he
good
can take
for
it.
him.
He's got
But what
strong
we
shoulders.
are going to blame on you is everything that you do for the community, everything you do for these families. Thank you. It is absolutely wonderful. Our life, our place where we work, there we are, Matthew Herzog,
Yes.
Whatcom County Sheriff.
Yeah, his
So I'm
mom
assuming,
and
here we go.
his mom, his sister, and his wife were here yesterday, along with some of their additional family members. They were very, very, very touched by this display of Matt's name.
And the part I like is these guys, they actually go up and put their hands on the
Yes,
on
they
the
get to
sticker
touch
on
it, and yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So you want to watch a boat run with me here?
Let's
You're gonna get trumped for one boat here, if that's okay. This is Dustin Eccles. I didn't know if you knew that.
It's so nice to meet you, Dustin Eccles.
But I'm going to teach you how to be a color commentator on H1
boy.
Unlimited.
Okay.
The first thing you have to do, Dustin and I both do it without ever having said, you have to stand up. So we can see. We got a green flag on the race course. Our first boat. Oh, Dustin, good. We do have a third mic. This is Dustin Eccles, sir.
Dustin.
I'm ready.
Yeah, here we go. We got all 3 of us lined up.
This could be my new career. Look
Yes.
out. I'm either going to apologize or say you're welcome at the end.
No, but Meg, I want to finish on that. I want to thank you for everything you do. Our communities that we live in are a better place because of people like you and what you have done. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Brad.
Meg DeBucci with the Behind the Badge Foundation, I'll make sure. Looking down to our right, Jeff Bernard is away from the dock in the U12, the Graham Trucking. We are going to get our qualifying ladder from yesterday. Have you met some of these other drivers? I'm assuming you've met them all. Have you met Jeff?
I have met several of the drivers. I have met Jeff. But I don't. Yeah.
Well, there's his picture there on the screen. There you go.
Yeah, I've met Brett.
Yeah.
Jeff's a man of few words. He likes to show you how fast he is on the race course. He doesn't say a lot, but he'll show us right now how fast he is.
Now, I want to explain to our fans what is going on here. This is our second round of qualifying. Everybody will have an opportunity to come out and run once. Everybody qualified yesterday with the exception of the U21 and Gunnar O'Farrell. They will have an opportunity to come out here and do so this morning. Jeff has already qualified. He qualified yesterday there. You've got the live view leaderboard up there with a top speed of 151.898, so just a tick under 152. So it's up to Jeff how he wants to play this. He can run up to 3 laps on the clock. He does not have to run 3 laps on the clock, but Dustin Eccles, he's up and running.
Yeah, the boat ride looks really, really nice right now. We have a little bit of a crosswind coming from the front straightaway to the back straightaway, but nothing too, too much for him to worry about. The conditions look great.
Meg, you got a favorite thing you like to watch when the boats are running, like that big wall of water that goes up when they
the
get in
rooster
the
tail
corner?
is the best.
It is the best.
Yeah, the corners are fun. They're make me nervous.
So Jeff Bernard here, as we talked at great length yesterday. The last time we saw this boat on the water before yesterday was Sunday at Seafair in Seattle last year, and they did a carload of work to this boat during the off season, and they're anxious to just see what all that work would produce. And the boat's running very, very well. They'll keep dialing it in, trying to get faster, and that's part of this process. But I like that corner at the top end, Dustin.
Yeah, we're looking really, really good. I think this is going to be a better time today than you had yesterday. We have better air. The boat is not reacting off the water like it was yesterday. It's even better. So I think Jeff's going to be really, really happy with this run. Let's see what the time is.
We'll get a speed up here shortly. And 152.866. So, well, there you go. See, that's why we have Dustin up at Dustin Eccles, I might say.
Oh.
See, don't forget that last name.
He's doing a good job of just keeping it just off the buoys, accelerating really hard. You see him start to get the boat loose a little bit there, and it's not moving around. It looks just dead steady at the end of the chutes, and that's what you want to see.
He gets to there, and when I watch the boat go up the back chute like that, I just watch the shoreline on the other side go past him. I mean, it just makes him look like he's going about 400 miles an hour.
There's such a great big boat. You know, the size doesn't really translate. You see this boat going fast, then like you say, Brad, you look at the shoreline and you say, oh man, he is really moving. I mean, he's doing 190 or so at the end of the chutes here, and it's cruising. He's got great corner speed, so I think he's going to be pretty happy with this run.
When he gets up to the top end next time, I'm going to point something out to the two of you that we haven't yet talked about. Let's see, at a 153.353 miles per hour. So there is his quickest lap of the weekend so far. Just slowly stepping it up, Dustin.
Yeah, he's going to have to make a big jump here in this final lap if he wants to change the leaderboard here. But, you know, he's got to be happy with the way the boat's riding right now because it's a raceable setup. It's not all speed. Where Jeff's at right now, he needs to make sure that he can make this boat raceable, and what I'm seeing right now is looking great.
So, Meg, when you look up here at the top end of the race course, and Dustin, we have something in the Tri-Cities called rainbows and rooster tails. So you'll watch him come off the corner here, and at some point you're going to get a very nice rainbow up there in the corner.
Yeah, it's stunning. I noticed that yesterday, too, and it's, if you ask me what my favorite thing was, I don't know, in a boat
Maybe
racing world, if that should be it, but it's in the top 3.
I think he's got to be happy with that run, he being Jeff Bernard. They went faster. In the interview we had with him and Danny Rogers, how about a 154? 154.175. So yesterday it was, and we're just taking it one at a time here. Yesterday they were 151. Their 3 laps today were 152, 53, and now 54. So good run for Jeff Bernard. Again, what they will do now, that you have to put it in pencil. The boat still does have to go through tech inspection to make sure they were legal on fuel flow and on their N2. And at this point, Meg will cut you loose and let you go enjoy your day. Are you going to go down in the pit area and be with some of the families and so forth, or?
You know, my day is going to be driving west, so I got to head back home.
You're not sticking with
us? We got
us?
other work to do. I'm going to stick around till about lunchtime, and then I'll take off. Yeah.
Yeah, but then we will see you next week.
Yes, sir.
Very,
bright
very
and early,
good. Meg
all day.
DeBucci behind the
Great to
Badge
see you over here.
Foundation.
Yeah, thanks,
and
Dustin.
again, thank you
Thank
for
you
all
so
you.
much.
And how many people are in? How many people work for the foundation?
We have 7 full-time employees
Okay.
now, which is more than twice as many as we had 4 years ago.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're growing.
Thank you for taking the time to stop by. Dustin Eccles will be with us next week, too. He'll have the same last name next week, too.
Awesome. I look forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
All right. Meg DiBucci with the Behind the Badge Foundation. And we talked about Gunnar O'Farrell not qualifying because he had insufficient data when the boat went through tech inspection. So he's going to be the next boat out on the water. We will say goodbye to Miss DiBucci and tell her we will see her next week in Seattle. Great discussion. And
absolutely.
It's just amazing what that group of people, her and her foundation and everything, what they do for the community. And it's just wonderful for these fallen officers and their families. And they're not forgotten. And were you at the banquet last year?
Last year I was not. But I have worked with the foundation when I was driving also, and I can tell her, it means as much to the drivers as it does to anyone, because we love having the support and the names on the boat. It just means that much more having those officers with us.
And honestly, I was remiss in not asking you that question. Yeah, you've seen it from the other side. And Meg's still standing here, so that's got to be kind of cool to hear that the drivers like it. I know there's a lot of really cool photos.
Absolutely, yeah. And just like I said yesterday, hearing the stories, you read the headlines or whatever, but actually getting to talk to the families, hearing the stories, hearing the personal side of it, it means a ton to all of us, so it's great.
And they're riding along with you.
Absolutely.
They are out there with you, and right now there is somebody out there riding along with Gunnar O'Farrell in the Spirit of 76, the U-21. Now, this is important because the rules changed a few years ago. You have to turn 3 laps to qualify. Once you have qualified and turned all 3 laps, one of which was north of $130, you can then come out on your second attempt, and if you go out and lay down 1 lap at 166, you can go back into the pit area. You only have to run the 1 lap, but you do have to run 3 laps to become qualified. Gunnar lost his 3 laps yesterday, so he must run 3 laps this time and turn one of them north of 130. The 130 is not the issue. It was an issue with data on the recorder. It was insufficient. So Gunnar will definitely be running all 3 laps out here on the Beacon Plumbing presents Ronald McDonald House Spirit of 76. We'll make sure we get all of that in. I told Gunnar if he wants us to say that when during the racing, he's got to get way out front.
Absolutely, yeah. Give us some time to. That's a mouthful for sure. But I spoke with Gunnar a little bit in the pits last night, and they put a good conservative setup in the boat. He knows what he needs to do today. He's not looking to break any records or anything. He wants to make sure he doesn't N2. He wants to make sure he doesn't have any fuel flow stuff. So this is a setup that they know can run. It's going to be reliable and hopefully just get into the field, without having any errors.
Gunnar's such a good kid. And of course, we showed the video of him over the past year, which culminated in early part of May when he got married. So he's a new husband. He and Marina Bartels came together, and he's got his first lap in the books. We'll see what kind of a speed we've got.
And Brad, Marina is a great driver in her own right, so I wonder what the conversations are at night around the dinner table. It's got to revolve around boat racing, I would imagine.
Probably similar to the Eccles household.
Yeah, it could be.
How about that? 148.883. 148.883. I want you to look to your left. We've got my new best friend fans over here again from yesterday. Oh, gosh. And we're going to have more fun with those guys today. These are some of the best boat race fans on the planet right over here, these guys.
Gunnar holding a nice line here, nothing too crazy. He's not trying to, stay on the buoys and make a mistake and actually hit a buoy. He knows he needs to just make a good run and get in the field. That's the most important thing right now.
That's the whole thing. We've got 9 boats here. We want to qualify all 9 of them. Gunnar comes across and puts 2 of 3 in the book. And again, he's got to finish all 3 laps. He's the only one in that predicament here that technically did not qualify yesterday because of an insufficient data recording when they pulled the box out of the boat.
He's coming pretty close to Brandon Kennedy's time there, isn't he, Brad?
Yes, he most assuredly is. How about a 150.082? Yesterday we were sniffing the 160s. We're happy with this 150, but this is really good for Gunnar.
It is. Yeah, he's getting some good seat time. They're getting some more information on the engines, the fuel flow setup, and just most importantly, make sure that this stuff is all legal. Make sure that their data acquisition is working and they get good readings of the truck, and this is where you want to make sure it all works before you get into the heat races.
So Brandon Kennedy in the Miss Madison is 150.4. Gunnar is 150.0. Did Gunnar jump up a spot on the ladder? And that would have an effect on our racing, because remember, our qualifying how about 152.666? So he moves up now and is now number 8 on our qualifying ladder. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
that's pretty good right there.
It is. That shakes it up a little bit. Now we'll see what Brandon wants to do, which heat he wants to be in, and if he's going to try to up that also. And Brandon has the luxury of knowing that he's already in the field. I mean, so he can actually push it a little bit and see if they can maybe turn the fuel up a little bit, maybe change some gears, and see what they want to do. I did see him down there working on gearboxes last night. Not sure if they were doing a gearbox change, but they did have the gearbox loose and it was hanging, and they were doing some adjusting. So they're definitely they were working late trying to get a little bit more out of that boat.
So everybody yesterday and this morning is talking about the top of the qualifying ladder with the 164, 63, 61, 60. But go down to the bottom of the ladder down there. You got 3 boats down there within sniffing distance of each other. You got 150, 152, and 154. So Brandon Kennedy will come out. Not only is Gunnar O'Farrell about 2 miles an hour ahead of him from 150 to 152, but it's only 2 more. It's less than that. It's about 1.5 miles to catch Jeff Bernard. So, yeah. And again, this is going to affect our heat racing, so we'll see how it plays out. And then the big dogs are going to have an opportunity to come out and run too, and this could shake things up. Our next boat is away, and that you can tell by the profile on that cowling. Here comes Dylan Runne. This will be very interesting. Dylan Runne currently sits 3rd on the qualifying ladder at 161.238 miles per hour. Andrew Tate is right above him at 163. Jimmy Shane sits atop at 164. Jimmy Shane and Andrew Tate, in a perfect world, don't want to race against each other in the preliminary heats. If Runne were to jump Andrew Tate here, well, then that would change that lineup and, at least for the time being, put Tate and Shane in the same heat. But first up, we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I have to think that they're going to want to try to step this thing up and make those BWR boats race each other. I mean, that's the strategy I'm assuming they're going to try to go with. But we'll see here. That 2 mile an hour jump is quite a jump. We do have some great air this morning. You know, it's way cooler than it was yesterday. Kelly Stockland, he's probably got the big setup in it. He's got a hot propeller for this thing and some good gears. So now's the time to do it. This time of day is when it's going to happen, if it's going to happen.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if Dylan Runne and Jamie Nilsen are unable to jump in between Tate and Shane. If Tate and Shane had even come out and run. I don't know. They may come out and use it as a test.
Yeah, it's a good question. You know, do you really want to run the boats this hard today right before you run all these heats? But obviously Dylan Runne wants to run it hard because that was a fantastic corner that he just pulled on the buoys all the way through on the exit. He's going to have a good time here.
So Dylan Runne, hot time yesterday, 161.238 miles per hour. First lap, 159.721, 159.721. He's in shouting distance.
Absolutely, yeah. That, you know, I think yesterday his first lap was a little slower, and he slowly stepped it up, and that's what he's going to do here. The boat ride looks absolutely phenomenal, and if he can just keep that thing wound up and keep it from beating on the sponsons, just barely tapping the sponsons, it's going to be a good fast time. And Dylan's doing a great job right now.
Again, Dylan was our 3rd fastest qualifier yesterday at 161.238 off the top end of the race course. Leaves that nice big rainbow up there at the top end in his spray, and he puts lap number 2 in the books. First lap, 159.721. Ooh, there's a nice maneuver, 161.241. So definitely has improved his speed. Now he's about 1.8 miles per hour behind Andrew Tate, who is currently in the number 2 slot at 163. This is kind of the fun part of this new race format, because all of this is really important now.
Absolutely, yeah. This is where it all matters. He's got a half a lap to do it here. That's a big jump to make, but I think he's capable of it. Let's see how tight he can keep it here on the buoys. He's working. You can tell he's working hard. And you hear the engine lug down just a little bit. That tells me they got a big setup in it. It's all for top end. Get it loose, get it fast.
I like it. Dylan Runne puts the third lap in the book, pulls his foot. Second lap was his quickest, 161.241, and he dropped back a little bit on lap number 3, 160.479. So for those of you with the abacus in front of you, Dylan Runne just increased his speed by 3/1000ths of a mile per hour. I think we've got our Danny Rogers in the pit area right now talking with Jeff Bernard, who I understand has cleared tech inspection. Danny?
Jeff, first one off the docks here this morning. What was one thing you wanted to check off your list here for the last qualifying round?
We've just put a race setup in now and changed gears last night. We were a little too tall even for qualifying, so check the data. Really didn't think we were going to up a position, which was fine, just trying to get us more set up for racing and when the water gets rougher. So we might have to make one more adjustment before we go out for heat, check the data and see.
Come heat time, this will be your first time with the new start format. What, if any, advice have you gotten from your fellow race drivers?
Well, I've raced different sign lanes formats over 30 years, so I helped do radios for Corey and Madison, so I mean, trying to strategize all weekend long to get best lanes for what fits our boat speed right now. Just name of the game, get enough points to get in the final. We'll just keep looking at it and see what we could do strategy-wise, but the sign lanes kind of makes it a lot tougher when you're a little bit down on power over fighting for lanes. So we're not big fans of it, but we're going to give it a try and see what we can do and get this thing in the final is our number one goal.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, what did you take away from that discussion there with Mr. Bernard, Dustin? We know he's not a big fan of the assigned lanes or the chosen lane format, but you got to go out and run it. That's what we're doing, and he's going to go out and take a swing.
Absolutely, yeah. He's a big strategy guy. You know, he's always thinking 3 steps ahead and wants to obviously put that boat in a good situation. So on Sunday, at the end of the day, he's right where he wants to be. So it's a different strategy going forward, but like we were just speaking about earlier, the boat looks raceable. The way that it was handling the rougher water, it's not bouncing all over the place, it's not reacting, and I think he's going to be really happy. He's not going to show it on his face, but they've got a good race boat, and he'll be just fine for the first heat.
First look from the drone here this morning as Jamie Nilsen comes away from the dock in the Miss FLAV-R-PAC, the U11, and boy, they were one of the big stories yesterday. They qualified at 160.656 miles per hour. I texted back and forth with Shannon Rainey, co-owner of the boat, last night, and I told her how proud I was of her and Scott and the team, and she just came back very quickly and said it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't get a chance to talk to Jamie last night, but I did see him walking through the pits on his way out, and he had a giant grin on his face, and you could just tell that he's feeling good. And I'm so happy for that team because they put in so much work and they do everything possible. They just need a break to go in their favor. And I think this propeller that we talked about yesterday, it's the break they needed, and it's showing.
Yeah, and I did learn this morning that that propeller that they found that we were talking about yesterday, that's the one they used with their 160 qualifying speed for yesterday. So I think they like it.
Absolutely, yeah. There's so much science that goes into the propellers here. It's not like something that you can go down to your marine store and pick up off the shelf. I mean, these are one-off propellers, and the guys work really, really hard to not only make them with the CNC machines, but also finishing them. That's the other half of it. So when you find one that works, you want to hold on to that thing, and I'm sure when they lost it, that was heartbreaking. He's looking pretty good right now, halfway up the back straightaway. The boat looks nice and light, fluffy. Jamie's doing a great job of just keeping it on the pins and getting everything he can out of it.
Top end of the race course, Rattlesnake Mountain in the background up there. Great shot. Get the rainbow coming off the rooster tail as he comes down the front straightaway. Light on the front end. Jamie Nilsen puts one in the books. And again, he is fully qualified. He does not even have to run this morning, and the fact that he is running, he does not have to run 3 full, but he'll probably take full opportunity to do that. And maybe they're running a quick setup. Maybe they're running what Jeff Bernard was talking about, put a race setup in the boat, because we're going racing later on today.
Yeah, absolutely. That 156 is something to still be proud of. Not quite what they were running yesterday, but I think they might have went to a race setup here. And what you can do if you switch to a race setup is you can adjust your fuel and all your settings, your boat ride for that race, the first heat race of the day, because the weather is cooler today. It's all different. And also when you're switching propellers back and forth, you also make changes to the boat, whether it's the rear horizontal stabilizer, the front canard. You can tell he's got a whole lot of up in the canard through the corners, which I didn't see yesterday. And he's trying to get this thing to accelerate out of the corners. I think they're set up for some racing.
First lap, 156.875. Next lap, 158.105. So 158.105. Again, his fast lap yesterday, 160.6. Jamie Nilsen driving the Miss FLAV-R-PAC for Scott and Shannon Rainey out of Cle Elum, Washington. Corporate headquarters for FLAV-R-PAC right here in the Tri-Cities.
Jamie's one of the best starters in the business here. So, if everything holds together the way it's lined up right this second, I would have to assume that Tate's going to try to go for the inside lane, and Jamie would be just outside of lane 2, and that's going to be an awful hard job to get around Tate. So it's going to come down to Jamie's starts. Now, when the boat setup is, well, Brad, that time's a little bit better.
A little bit better. 159.325, 159.325.
Now, as they've make changes to the boat and it accelerates better, with the race setup, Jamie has to use these times to get a good timing mark from the exit to the start-finish line, from the entrance of turn 2 to the start-finish line, and he can put all those numbers together to make sure that, if they make this boat faster, top end or acceleration, he can get his timing marks just right to try to nail that start for this first heat, and that's the way he's going to get around Tate.
So we've been talking about finding propellers in this particular prop that they ran yesterday for the 160. Those of you that are watching on the H1 Unlimited YouTube channel, you're taking a look at the divers in the water who actually went down when they found the prop. And that's got to be a feeling of exhilaration, I would assume.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say they will get a Christmas card from the U11 group.
Wow.
With FLAV-R-PAC. I mean, what a find.
There it is, covered with mud, and they've got a picture of it here. There we go, stolen from the U11 Unlimited Racing Group Facebook page. So they posted it on there, and good looking stuff.
That's pretty amazing that they were able to find it out here. And while we're waiting for the next boat to come out here, Brad, I told you a story earlier about I went diving out here with Kelly and some of the guys from the U40 team looking for propeller we lost a few years back, and we spent a ton of time out here, and at the end of the day I was so defeated. I just figured no one's going to find one out here. This is impossible. And the fact that those divers found it, that's just amazing.
this looks like this is going to be the Madison, and Brandon Kennedy away from the dock. The Goodman Real Estate presents Royer, Miss Madison. Royer is a plastic extrusion company back in the Midwest in the Indiana neighborhood. So glad to have Miss Madison Incorporated, Miss Madison's race boat, the former T3 Miss Budweiser, out west and on the Columbia River. It's good to have them out here.
Absolutely, yeah. They had a nice trip out. I was following along on Facebook with them, and you know, I saw they had a flat tire on the way here, and I thought, oh no, they're almost here, but they got it fixed. And what a great group of people, hard workers. And you know, Brandon's going to do his job right now to see if he can get a couple more miles an hour out of that boat and squeak back up on the ladder.
Yeah, he's about 2 miles per hour behind Gunnar O'Farrell. Brandon's top lap yesterday was 154.436, 150, and Gunnar got above him. We have not heard whether or not he cleared tech, and that's the one that's really important because he needs to clear tech inspection to officially qualify. So, but Gunnar's right ahead of Brandon Kennedy by just a little over 2 miles per hour. We'll see if, and he did clear the truck. Gunnar O'Farrell has cleared, so he is in. And fans, it wasn't like we had to be on the edge of our chair for this because there is something called a commissioner's option, and there was no way Gunnar O'Farrell was not going to race this weekend, but it would have affected, at least for right now, where he would have been on the qualifying ladder because he would have been at the very bottom, having not recorded a legal time. But still lots could change here, and it could change as a result of this run with Brandon Kennedy and the Royer Miss Madison.
Yeah, Brandon's doing a fantastic job. He's really still, you know, he's been driving this boat a few races now, but it's really hard to get the experience when you only run a few races, you know, each season. So he's doing a fantastic job of getting better and better every time out. And, you know, it's obvious to you and I, Brad, we've been watching him run this all season long, and he's just getting more confident. His lines are better, and he's handling the boat like a true champion. So this team's got a bright future.
Yeah, he has come a long way because remember in Madison, Indiana, just 3 weeks ago, he was having a hard time getting the boat up on a plane.
Exactly.
And you were talking about he's got to make a hard left and a hard right, and pretty soon that's what he was doing, coming out of the pit area, and the boat would step right up, and have not yet got Dylan Runne's 161 miles per hour has cleared the truck. So Dylan's 161 has cleared. Here comes Brandon. We'll get his first lap speed. Again, Brandon's fast lap yesterday, 150.4. Great look there from the drone, how close he comes to that entrance pin. Looking for something north of 150. This boat's been around a long time, been rebuilt many, many times.
It just shows you, though. I mean, this boat, from what I saw, was every time they would update the newer boats with the Miss Budweiser, they would put as many updates into this one to keep it current. So, although we talk about this one being, you know, one of the older boats in the fleet, it's had so many updates to it that it's still, you know, very similar to the newer boats. It's pretty cool how they were keeping it up to date the whole time. Still looking for some speeds here. We're not seeing them on our monitor, but we'll let you know as soon as we do.
Yeah, we haven't got a speed yet. We will. Oh, there we go. Lap 1, 148.8. Lap 2, 149.2. And that's going to be the quickest one because lap 3, 149.149. So lap 2 was the quickest, 149.268. So he was a tick below yesterday's quickest of 150.4. So the ladder doesn't change right there.
That's pretty consistent for Brandon. He can bring that boat right back into the pits and tell the crew guys, hey, that's what it's got. And it just shows you by his speeds right there. He was so consistent, you know, almost the same every single lap, and he's getting everything he can out of the boat.
And I always make the comment, and I'm going to let you tell me if I'm right or wrong, and looking at it this way, but somebody goes out and runs a 158 or a 159, 160, and they're real happy, and then they go out again, they change everything in the boat and they go out and run again, and they run 152 and 153. And people go, well, they didn't learn anything. I'm going, well, yeah, actually they learned a lot. They learned that the first setup was a whole lot better than the other one, and what they tried didn't work.
Yeah, and there's a few different ways to look at it, because you can have a boat that is blistering fast and it just shows great on the scoreboard, but you can't drive it, you can't race it, and you get in some rough water and it's just totally out of control, or it's terrible, trying to get the thing around the course. So I think a lot of these guys that maybe aren't on the top of the leaderboard right now and they're okay with where they are in the qualifying standings, they're saying, you know what, I'm going to make this thing so raceable. I need some acceleration to make sure I can keep in a good position, make a good start, and I can get this thing around the race course in the rough stuff to where I can actually win a heat instead of just looking fast. So there's a couple different ways of looking at it. And like you said, if there is something that you want to try and you have a little bit of time to do it, you think this might work, you might throw it in there when it doesn't really matter. You're already in the field and you go out there and try it and you think, well, that didn't work. Or we have better top end now, but we lost it on the bottom end. So you can use it for both situations.
I'm probably going to start down a slippery slope here, and you may come to me later on in the day and ask me why in the world I went this route, but I'm going to do it. I'm looking at our qualifying ladder right now, and remember, the qualifying ladder dictates our heat lineup for 1A and 1B. And in heat 1A, top to bottom, boat number 1, the fastest qualifier, runs against the 3rd fastest, the 5th fastest, the 7th fastest, and the 9th fastest. The second heat is 2, 4, 6, 8. Shane and Tate are sitting 1, 2, so they're not going to run against each other in the first heat. They're also going to have last lane choice and are going to be stuck on the outside in those first 2 heats. But to me, it gets real interesting when you get down to position 4 and 5, which is Corey Peabody and J. Michael Kelly. By virtue of the fact they are consecutive on the live view leaderboard here, they are not going to run against each other. If Peabody, who's sitting in the number 4 position, if Peabody were to go out, he's qualified at 160.3. Jamie Nilsen is just ahead of him at 160.6, but if Peabody went out and leapfrogged Nilsen, yes, he would get 20 more points, but he'd suddenly then be racing against his teammate, J. Michael Kelly. I'm thinking Peabody and Kelly may not come out. And I cheated a little bit. I didn't see those 2 boats in the water when they showed the dock a moment ago. I don't know if my logic is making any sense or if I went down an empty road, but I was just watching that.
I think you're probably dead on. I didn't pay attention enough to look at it when they were showing the pit area, but I think if Peabody did run faster and move himself up a position, it would absolutely be shooting himself in the foot. I think you definitely don't want to run your teammate this early in these situations. Right now, that's exactly where they want to be, and also with Shane and Tate, that's right where they want to be. They don't want to upset that ladder at all. So, yeah, I would be very surprised.
And we just got it in our ear. Both strong boats have scratched from coming out in this second qualifying session. That clearly has to be, and I understand we're waiting on the U1. That would be Andrew Tate. Now, he can come out and do whatever the heck he wants. If he jumps teammate Jimmy Shane, it really doesn't change anything. It changes the heat they will be in, but they're still not going to be running against each other, but he would put himself in the 5-boat heat as opposed to the 4-boat heat.
Yeah, and on this big race course, obviously you want to go around fewer boats inside of you, so you definitely want to be in that 4-boat heat. But Tate doesn't like being back there in that number 2 position, and obviously it wouldn't change anything for the BWR team, but it is for learning information moving forward into the weekend, and also for bragging rights. You don't want to be number 2.
Nope.
Say, hey, I deserve to be up there. Give me a shot.
And having a teammate, I learned many years ago talking to Andrew. That's not one of his favorite things. When he and Dylan were running for Miss Madison Racing, and he says, "No, I'm wearing a gold shirt. He's wearing a blue one. That's not my teammate out there on the water. Yeah, our boats are pitted next door, and all that good stuff." So we're seeing a little bit of this new race format play out here, because I think had this been normal circumstances, we probably would have seen Peabody and Kelly, the strong boats, come out. Now, if you really wanted to roll the dice, if you're Peabody and Kelly, Peabody's only got to up his speed by 0.3 of a mile an hour to get ahead of Nilsen, but then Kelly's got to do it too, and he's only got to come up about 1.5 miles. And there's, to our fans along the shoreline who can't see what we're looking at here, don't get confused. It's very simple. We just have to, we're talking about some of the strategy behind who's going to come out, who wants to run hard, who wants to do what. But once this qualifying session is over, our heats will be determined. Our teams will get together. They will make their lane selections, and then we're going to stick them in the water and go racing.
Yeah, we're not far off here. And I mean, just looking at that leaderboard right now, I shouldn't be surprised at all, because the 40 and the 11 teams are both fantastic teams. But I'm a little surprised that, you know, they are 3rd and 4th on the leaderboard here. And I mean, I'm excited, and I'm a little anxious, I guess, to see if they race as well as they're showing right now, because if they do race that well, holy smokes, are we in for some good heats.
Yeah, we certainly are. Away from the dock is the U1 BWR Racing. Andrew Tate will come out on the race course. Currently number 2 qualifier at 163.064 miles per hour. You heard Dustin Eccles say it. These guys are competitors. I don't want to be number 2.
It's not where Andrew wants to be. I know Andrew pretty well, and he wants to see that gold boat right up on top where he thinks it's fitting. And you know, that's a great boat. It's a great driver, and he can absolutely do it right here. We got some great weather conditions, and this is the time to do it.
We're going to be talking later on the day about our Pick the Prop segment, and I have most definitely picked this guy going for me. He would love to rerun that final heat in Madison. I know he'd like to take that corner up at the top end a couple more times and tighten it up a little bit. I know he would love to rerun the Gold Cup here last summer, where he did not make it on the front row of the final. So he's going to go way wide out here.
Look at this run. He's getting it wound up.
Andrew Tate in our defending national high points champion BWR Racing. And I think he'd love to send a message to Shane and just go beyond him and say, there. And then maybe we get Jimmy back out on the water. But there comes Andrew down to the lower end of the race course. Now, he took this way wide.
Yeah, let's see how he does in the exit pin. That was a different turn than I expected.
And so part of that tells me he's going to get last lane choice in whatever heat he's in. And so he's trying to put a setup together, because he's going to have to race in lane 5.
Yeah, and so they're probably making sure that they don't N2, which N2 basically overspeeding the engine. So they need to make sure their gears are big enough to be able to run fast enough on the outside to see if they can compete with these guys and actually go around them.
Yeah, he's running the big course here, so this is not going to be the world's fastest laps. They're going to be quick, but this is, you don't win the race in qualifying.
No, this is an indication of a good, smart team that's thinking about 2 steps ahead right now.
Yep.
And, you know, obviously we would like to see him go out there and really challenge for that 164.5, but this is smart, and this is laying the groundwork going forward.
I just wonder, for a guy like that and a guy like you, how hard is it to do that? You see that entrance pin go by and you're still going straight. You want to turn.
Yeah, that's really tough, especially when you don't have boats inside of you, and you just have to tell yourself, no, this is where we're going to be, way out here. But, you know, the fact that he's not pedaling, and it looks like he's still got his foot in it all the way, they've got a really good setup for this. So they're going to learn a lot here, and learn that if this is a setup that they can keep it wide open on the outside and not get disqualified for overspooling.
Yeah, he turned that first lap at 152.7, probably running as fast as he did yesterday when he ran his 163.
Well,
but he's just running a 3-mile race course right now.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. He's running a way bigger race course, but he's doing it very impressively. I mean, the boat ride looks great, and knowing Andrew, he's going to nail a start out there, and still 154.048 running out in lane 6, so that's pretty impressive.
We get a great shot on the H1 Unlimited live stream when he goes into turn 1. It's from a drone up above the corner, and you see the entrance pin goes by, and he's still going straight.
Yeah, he's got to hurt his neck looking over at it as he goes by it, but he's doing a great job, and he's getting the data the team needs right now to have this first heat here shortly.
152.7 on lap 1, 154 on the next one, and clearly this is a setup for, well, right now it would be Heat 1B. In an outside lane setup. Andrew Tate, don't ever count this guy out.
I would be really curious to see what his top speed is here. You know, if we could peek over the shoulder or be a fly on the wall, because, you know, we talk about these guys doing 200 miles an hour in the chutes, but most of them aren't doing quite 200 miles an hour because they're so worried about corner speed. You want to get through the corners so fast to make your overall lap times high. But when you're running out as wide as he is, his top speed is every bit of 200 miles an hour. So I would be really curious.
All right, so you ran a $1:72 down there in Gunnersville. That was a great, big, wide race course. Did you see that little 2 and a couple of zeros behind it?
You know, I didn't. Our top speed was not that fast. I think it was mid-180s, but I believe our slowest speed in the corners was 162.
Wow.
So that's why that top speed goes, or the average speed is so high, is because you just never slow down.
Wow. So Andrew Tate will head back. The last lap was the quickest of the three, 155.2. Looking at the dock there, where we are not done yet. Jimmy Shane is in the water looking at the H1 live stream.
Looks like the crew is just tucking his cape into the seat behind him. So.
Tucking his cape. Yeah, so fans, our top qualifier is going to come out. Interesting enough, there was all this talk about, you know, we're going to see 166s, 167s, somebody going to sniff 170, and our leaderboard hasn't changed. A couple of teams came out and upped their speeds a little bit, but our leaderboard is not going to change. And given that it won't, we will just quickly take a look at Heat 1A would line up with Jimmy Shane, the U27, Dylan Runne, the U40, Corey Peabody, the U3, Jeff Bernard in the U12, and Brandon Kennedy in the U6. That's not a bad heat.
No, I mean, both of these heats are going to be absolutely stacked. But no, that's a tough one right there, and it's going to be great just to see how this whole thing plays out. I'm excited to see where all the lanes end up, to which boats, and if they set themselves up for moving forward. You know, let's try to get some good points. You know, get these heat wins, gather points, get in the final, because the most important thing right now is to get every point possible to make sure that you're on the front row in the final tomorrow afternoon. So every heat matters.
To me, the most interesting point might be in that first heat and lane selection. The first lane selection is going to go to Brandon Kennedy. Now, this is a rookie driver, brand newly qualified. Just how far inside does he want to go? And will they just kind of, let's take the conservative approach here a little bit, and maybe he takes lane 3 or 4?
I don't think they will, and I could be wrong on this, but I know Brandon, and I know that team, and I know Brandon can make a good start, and he can hold it in the corners. I would be surprised if he doesn't go for the inside.
There you go. You got it from Dustin Eccles, and we'll find out. We're also going to find out. So let me ask you this before we see the nose of the U27 come out, and it is away from the dock. That would be the nose of the U27, the Miss Apollo, and our top qualifier, Jimmy Shane. Are we going to see a repeat of what Andrew just did? Because he's going to be on the far outside too.
I would have to guess so. Yeah, these boats are very different in setup, different in design, and the gearing, propellers, everything, they're different. So he has to make sure that he can run legally on the outside also and still get around all these guys. It's not like he has a bunch of slow boats inside of him. These are all crazy fast race boats right now, so he's got his work cut out for him.
Top qualifier yesterday, Jimmy Shane, 164.506 miles per hour. Jimmy also claimed his 6th APBA Gold Cup in Madison, Indiana 3 weeks ago on the Ohio River in a dramatic win in the final heat from lane 1. And lane 1 is a tough lane. Well, now he's not looking quite like teammate Andrew Tate did. He's a little tighter on the buoy rows.
Yeah, we'll see what he does. I mean, we'll see if he's going to try to up that time or if he's just going to try to learn some information moving forward. Time will tell here.
Yeah, there's not an incentive here for him to qualify quicker. He's the last boat to come out. He already is the top qualifier, so he will test whatever it is they want to test. Different setup, perhaps, race setup. That we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong here, but I don't think we're going to see this boat on the inside in many heat races this weekend. I think he's going to be working his tail off on the outside or in the middle somewhere to try to just make clean starts, stay out of danger, and get this boat legally into the final.
And then he'd love to take that lane number 1 in the final. And to do that, he's got to bring the most points to the final heat. Now he's running way on the outside.
And Brad, he can still choose lane 1 if he did end up with the most points going into the final. Although he had lane 1 in Madison, that wasn't his first. He wasn't the first one to make that choice, right? Is that correct?
That is exactly right. There is that line that you're referring to in the rule book that says the boat with the most points going into the final heat can only choose lane 1 or 2 once. The key phrase in there was the top points getting boat in the final heat. Jimmy was not the top point getting boat. He was number 2. Andrew Tate had the first choice. He took lane 2. Jimmy then had the next choice. Lane 1 was open. He took it. So no, it does not count against him. You're exactly right. He can choose lane 1 here. Because quite candidly, I don't think anybody's going to give it to you here.
No, you're going to earn every bit you get here.
We'll check a speed here. Oh my goodness, 157. And he's running up against the outside course markers, for gosh sake. This thing is just a rocket ship.
It's pretty incredible to watch him get comfortable in this thing. And, you know, he's just driving it like an absolute professional that did not step away at all. I mean, he climbed back in the seat, and it was just like second nature to him. Didn't miss a beat.
Hey, back that one way down. 152.9. 152. So that first lap, he was a little tighter on the buoy row, especially when he came off the top end to set up for it and come down.
But that shows you, you know, we watched down in turn number 1, he was actually pretty tight, maybe lane 2, 3. That shows you the difference in moving out a couple lanes and how fast you actually need to run to keep that speed up. So he lost, you know, quite a few miles an hour by moving outside a few lanes. So that just shows you how fast you have to go.
Yeah, that lap was 152.9. He's pulled his foot. Watch him come off the top end of the race course, go way wide, and really run it to the line here. This is going to be a good timing mark for Jimmy.
That's exactly what he's doing right now.
Yep.
He's getting a good timing run out there in lane 5. He's going to see what it takes with this setup in it to get from there to right in front of Brad and I at the start-finish line.
And you could hear him put his foot in it. Here he comes. Jimmy Shane, our top qualifier, the Miss Apollo U-27.
Man, I just got chills just thinking about 5 Unlimiteds coming down here shortly to make a start. How fast they're going to be going deck to deck. It's going to be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, fans, you're not going to want to miss this. This is going to be really something special. This new race format here is going to put everybody at the start-finish line when the clock strikes 0. And it's, don't miss it. Don't be late. Don't be late. So I think that's going to do it. That's going to conclude the second qualifying session. I don't believe anybody passed aside from Kelly and Peabody, but I was told the word that was used was scratched. And to me, that says they didn't just pass where they could come back and run later. They scratched and said, we're not going in this particular round. So those two boats, the Maverick and the Tahoe Miss, presented by Beacon Plumbing, both boats stayed on the trailer. So we are going to step away for just a moment. Our Danny Rogers, we understand, has caught up with Scott Rainey, co-owner of the U11 of Miss FLAV-R-PAC. Got to be a happy guy down there. Danny, take it away.
Yesterday for the U11, I mean, the smiles were off the charts here once the boat got back to the dock. One of the fastest times during qualifying. Can you just talk us through what was going through your mind when that number popped up on the screen?
Yeah, it's exciting because this, you know, the fastest we've gone in Tri-Cities, and it's just a testament to a lot of long hours in the wintertime and the preparation to get here. A lot of this is done not here at the race site, it's done in the winter. And so all these long hours and working Saturdays and Sundays all winter, you question what the heck are you doing, but you get a run like that and you go, all right, it's all worth it.
How much did you anticipate the boat could reach that speed yesterday?
Honestly, we came here with a goal of trying to get into the high 150s. To get to 160, that's kind of a magic number for us, and you know, we've never done it before, and so it was exciting. It was exciting for the guys. It's invigorating, and everyone is you know, got a little spring in their step. So we got to continue to learn and grow, and I think there's more growth, you know, room for growth in this race team, and we're going to work at it some more.
Jamie followed it up with a similar qualifying time here today. How does he continue to build off of that now?
Well, we keep making, you know, subtle changes to the race boat. Obviously, the weather is going to be a factor in this with the wind coming up, and we saw that right there. And, you know, this morning we tried a different combination, a different propeller, a little bit different wing setting on the boat. We're trying to learn, okay, maybe we can make it a little better with some small stuff. So the good thing for Jamie is we had two really reasonably quick runs, and it's consistent. The boat is consistent. It's doing the same thing. So he's able to understand and predict when something you know, is a miss. So it's good. It's good.
We appreciate you. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah, thanks. This is awesome.
Right there, right at the very end, when we finally get, he's always so stoic. And, you know, he just says, well, you know, you talk about Bernard being kind of dry in the whole bit, but right there at the very end when he says, yeah, thanks, this is awesome, they're loving it. This is a big deal for them.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm so excited for that team because you don't see Scott Rainey get that excited, that happy often, especially during a race weekend, because he's usually just got his head down. He's working like a madman down there, just trying to get more out of it. And I'm just so glad that he can sit back just for half a second, smile, and say, our hard work is really paying off, because he just told you, you know, this is not just a summertime sport. This is an absolute year-round sport with tons of volunteers to make it happen. And he can sit back, put his arms around the guys and say, hey, this is what it's all about. So it is very, very neat to see these guys have this success, and it's much deserved. You know, they've worked so hard. It's so deserved. We're excited for them.
I just confirmed with our chief referee, Jonathan Abbott. Yes, indeed. I think we all knew this. We said it yesterday. Brandon Kennedy has no restrictions. He can go anywhere he wants. He can choose any lane he would like. But the best part is that was Jonathan Abbott, our chief referee, and he is leaving the tower. Do you know why he's leaving the tower? Of course you do, because he's going down, because lane selections are going to take place here momentarily. Our field is set for Heats 1A and Heat 1B. Now the fun begins. Now if you're the fastest qualifier, you get rewarded by getting last lane choice. So let the mayhem begin as soon as we get our lineups to include lane selections for our H1 Unlimited hydroplanes. As you look at the crowd that has come on board here in the Tri-Cities of Washington, it is always a well-attended event. This is just part of the summer celebration here, Dustin. This is the biggest weekend in Eastern Washington.
Absolutely, yeah. Just, you know, I got to walk around a little bit yesterday afternoon and talk with some of the fans, and everyone was in such a great mood. You know, they're splashing around, they're having a good time, they're sharing areas with their neighbors for the weekend next to each other, and they're just enjoying the summer here in Washington and just getting out and meeting new people. So it's great to see. It's cool.
And you just saw the transition there. Those of you watching on the H1 live stream, you saw the transition from the general admission open area. Now you're getting into the corporate booths and you're getting into the reserved areas, and you see the big tents back there. I don't know if you've spent any time in those. I have spent very little time in there, but I was in one a couple of years ago. I was invited down there. They had music, they had sofas, they had a carvery going, and I'm going, I'm doing this all wrong.
Absolutely. I got invited a few years ago down to tour a few of them, and I think by the time I got down to the Porco's Pals, I said, they're having way too much fun for me. I need to get back, and I need to work on the boat, keep my head down, because you spend a little bit of time in any of these corporate tents, and you say, this is where I need to be. Why would you go anywhere else?
It's where I'm going to end up one of these days. So, yeah, you got a good look at it there. And the one thing I was going to mention to Dustin, and I'm sure he can appreciate it too, if you were to talk to those people on the beach, whether they're in the corporate tent or whether they just got here and made the rush and got their spot and laid it out for their friends, the tradition involved. The families you start talking to, we've been coming here for 28 years in a row, or we've been here for 33, and it's tradition. They know this same group gets together, and
no, it is. It's something that you look forward to, every year, and you put it on the calendar. You know when the waterfall is going to happen, and you look forward to it. And this is what we do.
This is what we do. It is the 2026 Apollo Columbia Cup in the Tri-Cities. They've been racing here since 1966, and no, Dustin, I know you're just dying to get an answer to this. No, I was not here in 66. My first was 68. I have not missed it since 1968, and the first time I came over, it was a Sunday only. We came over really early in the morning, watched the event, and drove back the same day, and I knew right then. And I was over with a group of people that were coming, and they were just kind enough to let the young boy go along with them. And I went home and I talked to my buddies, and I said, we got to go. And we came over, made a weekend out of it, and gosh, we must have done that for 15 years.
No, that's great. I love hearing how everybody was introduced to this sport. I heard from Mike Denslow this morning. He pointed across the shoreline. He says, you see that spot right there? That's where I grew up. He has tons of memories. I love it.
So I'm not sure what is next on our schedule, but I think it's Grand Prix. On my schedule, I had something else in there, but I know this thing is a little bit fluid. So, and we've got lanes lined up here.
Yeah, they're moving some stuff around. One issue they were having yesterday was just dock space. There's so many boats. We spoke yesterday about it. There are so many boats here that it's so hard to get the boats in and out and make sure they're ready for the heat. So they moved the Grand Prix up a little bit. They are going to be our next heat on the water.
I got a question here while we're just waiting to go. First of all, is that Jimmy Shane, or is that Captain America that's down here right in front of us? I'm seeing a lot of stars and stripes down here on the dock in front of us. These guys look pretty official too. I think we got some divers here in front of us, but I do like the outfits for the 250th birthday for this great country. Got a question for you though. If I said something like the SNHL, do you know what that is? And I'm not talking about Saturday Night Live here with something else going on, but kind of close.
It is the Hydro League, I believe.
Saturday Night Hydro League. You'll never guess what night it is. Yeah, the SNHL.
Is it Friday?
Yes,
no.
The Saturday Night Hydro League. And we want to give them a little shout out there to those guys, to the Hydro Sim Saturday Night Hydro League. Those guys, they're big fans of the sport. They actually have their own role in bringing young fans and new people to the sport. And people watch our racing here and they go, man, that'd be fun if it was a video game. Well, it is. And they get involved. And so there is a group here. They are behind the BWR merch trailer. So a little shout out to those guys for all they do and the racing they do during the off season, and good stuff.
No, that's very cool. I was able to run the simulator a little bit with Taylor Evans, and they make it look easy because
they do.
A driver coming in and trying this out, which we're on the 5-minute gun right now for the Grand Prix, coming in and trying the simulator, it is tough, and they make it look so easy, but it's a great time. It's fun, and they're very helpful, and they'll give you a lot of advice.
So a shout out to those guys. Saturday Night Hydro League, thanks for all you do, and hope you guys are having a good time, but somehow I think they are.
Looks like Chris Grant to me, the first boat on the race course. Just under 4 minutes now for the Grand Prix Hydro first heat of the day. That's heat 2A.
I think you got a lineup there with our lane assignments.
I do. We have the GP5 of Chris Grant in lane number 1, the GP88 Josh Harnack in lane number 2, the GP17 Austin Egret lane number 3, and the GP35 of Brandon Kennedy in lane number 4.
This could be very interesting because you got Kennedy, who was the top qualifier. You're sticking him all the way to the outside. Harnack showed me I hate the term, but we're going to use it anyway, a boatload of boat speed yesterday. It looked really quick. And the 17, we know Awesome Austin knows how to drive that thing. This could be a lot of fun. There's a lot of speed off to the left of Brandon Kennedy. Coming off the top end of the race course, that's going to be Chris Grant in the Jacknut apparel. Good-looking hydroplane. First time they've been on the water since last year in San Diego.
Yeah, it definitely stands out. You can tell that boat apart from all these other boats. That yellow boat out there, that's Josh Harnack in the GP88. He actually sustained quite a bit of damage yesterday. The whole left non-trip, that's the left side of the boat behind the cockpit was damaged in the collision with the GP10 in one of the heat races. They worked feverishly through the night. So at the end of the day, when Brad and I were going to get some dinner and cool down, we said how tired we were. That team worked all night to put new carbon fiber, dry out the damage, and they stayed up all night working on it. So
we're looking for 4 boats. We got 4 boats. The only one yet to come across start-finish line would be Austin Egret, and he is entering turn 2. He will come off the top end and come down. That's the blue and white boat. We are 2 minutes and 5 seconds, 2:05 from the start. We're going to go 3 times around. This could be a very fun, interesting heat. You saw Brandon Kennedy come off in a very wide lane on his first run, kind of like Austin Egret, doing a timing run to the line. They pull their foot as soon as they get to the start-finish line. That's a pure timing run. We saw Brandon do it. He knows when to get on the juice.
Well, that GP17 yesterday, we talked a lot about how fast they got. It's been like a light switch. They struggled all season so far, and then all of a sudden they show up here in Tri-Cities, and that thing is an absolute rocket ship.
If these guys hit the line together, I like the positioning of Harnack here, because Egret, if you're going to say that Kennedy's got the speed, Egret could keep him occupied for a while, and if Harnack could get the jump on him, he might be able to run away and hide. Now you watch this maneuver that they're doing on the Grand Prix here. Everybody has cut the course from the back to the front. That is a completely legal move, what they're doing there. You can't try that in an H1 Unlimited because that's at the bottom end of the race course. In Grand Prix racing, that is legal. They did it to get to their spot on the water. Inside 50, coming up on 45 seconds to the start. Dustin, you like where they are?
They're a little further back than I would like to see them, especially the outside boats. You see Kennedy up there a little early, and that's where you want to be because he's got the longer way around. So these other boats, now you see him on it. Awesome Austin, he's still on it. Harnack is on his inside, but they do not want to be late to the start because if you're late, you might not have a lane. You just never know.
Well, there goes Egret. He goes right by Kennedy. Watch Kennedy. He's the 3rd boat up there. He's on a far outside. Is he going to be late, or is he's still not on it yet? Is he right or is he wrong? He's got a long way to go. We're inside 10 seconds. We're coming up on 5. We are 4, 3, 2, 1. Marco, I think we've got a couple. And look at Austin Egret. I think he knew he was going to jump. He pulled his foot maybe too far, but I think 2 of them got across early. We will call them the way they are on the water. And right now it is Brandon Kennedy on the far outside. But watch Josh Harnack on his left on the inside. Can Harnack show some top end here and try and make a run on Kennedy? Honestly, between you and me, Dustin, I think Kennedy got across early too.
I think he did. I mean, we had to wait for the official word, but that was a really tough one because once he went by, we couldn't see the inside boats. Kennedy's moved into lane number 2 now. Harnack on his inside, 1 rooster tail ahead, and Chris Grant falling back, a couple rooster tails back in 3rd. Kennedy takes control of this one right now. We're still waiting. The start is under review.
We're still monitoring the official radio. We We will let you know as soon as we know.
I think you're right, though. The 17, he pulled his foot all the way out, and it just never came back. So I don't know if he hurt something when he pulled his foot out or just got wet. It's hard to say.
Well, if what we were just told is true, but definitely our first two boats, and that's going to be Josh Harnack and Brandon Kennedy, both jumped the gun. There is a question also that Austin Ekrit may have also jumped the gun, but he's dead in the water on the front straightaway. Chris Grant in the GP5 is our apparent leader.
Well, and I haven't heard, I couldn't see where he was at on the start because of all the water in the air. The referees are definitely going to go back and monitor that and make sure that he wasn't across also. So we'll have to wait to make sure, but you might be right, Brad. He might be our leader.
So coming down here to complete lap number 2, you're watching it on the H1 live stream, is Chris Grant, the Jack Nut Apparel, the GP5. Oh, you got to keep it going, though.
I think he's just being careful. He knows where he's at on the race course. He just wants to make sure he's not going to hurt anything. There's no reason to push it. These other guys, they jumped the gun.
They have jumped the start. So he is entering the lower corner. You see where the other two boats are. They are all the way up at the top end. The boat on the left just coming off the top end of the race course, Brandon Kennedy. He's going to come down and pick up apparently a second place finish, having jumped the gun. That is going to be Josh Harnack. He is going to come down and finish third, and only in racing like this can we have the second place boat and the third place boat come across before the first place boat.
And that just shows you how competitive this class is. You do not want to be late here because you're going to get eaten for lunch. But
so here comes Chris Grant in the GP5 Jack Nut Apparel. He's going to come home and pick up a heat victory here.
Yep, I just got confirmation from Chaz Dodge, the referee. Your winner right here, Chris Grant. So this is pretty incredible for that team that make a legal start and just be smart, make a legal start and get through it.
Now, speaking of Grand Prix, we have somebody sneaking up on the tower. We won't let that cat out of the bag just yet, but we will momentarily.
I just got word also, Brad, that the E350s will be our next heat up.
Well, yeah, because I'm a little worried about who's standing down to our right.
Yeah, he's a busy guy, so.
We have one of our Grand Prix drivers standing off to our right here, and might have to have him throw a set of headphones on here as we got rescue boats heading out to have a conversation with Awesome Austin, who unfortunately, I was thinking maybe he was pulling his foot so far because he realized maybe everybody was going to jump the gun. Are you going to? Oh, he's going to be able to join us here. Go ahead and fire him up there. Let's make sure this headset runs, and we will welcome the third member of our broadcast team right now, my good buddy.
Hey, how are you?
How are you? First of all, we got Grand Prix ready to go here.
Yes.
And you're standing up here.
Well, I'll be in the 2 o'clock.
Is that when?
Yeah, so we did have a little bit of a change up. I know we were going to try and put the 2 heats back to back, but actually we changed that. We'll be at 2 o'clock, and then you just saw this heat. So I decided to come see it from the start finish, and then also do my Amazon delivery duties too. So.
And I am remiss. I've known you so darn well. Brent Hall
yes.
Didn't even say who you. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. Yeah.
How's the boat?
Man, you get beat up in the back, so get a better start, Brent. I know you all were like, come on, man, you got to get up there. So, yeah, no, I got to get up there, and I got some good coaching in my ear. We're just learning and growing. We've been having a few little gremlins, but, we got the canard on, and it's working. You might have seen it flopping in the last heat or the last qualifying, and we had to put some extra strength in that.
I'm a little worried about one particular aspect. You mentioned an Amazon delivery. My wife loves that stuff. It's not hers, is it?
No, I don't know. I just was told, Brent, you got another job. You got an Amazon delivery for Brad Luce. Bring it up.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's something in here. But let's talk Grand Prix. Did you guys talk about the heat?
We did.
Well, let this sit. Let this marinate.
Yeah, well, we were a little We were really looking forward for a good heat in
Yes.
that last one.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we had a couple of boats get across early, and then Mr. Ekert there, Austin had a problem and didn't make it down to turn 1. But, you know, you got to finish before you can win. And here's Chris Grant, and he says, I'm legal number 1,
Hey, go
and
ahead,
I
Chris.
finished number 2.
He did it. He pulled it out. He made a good start, and he was smart about it. So
That's right.
That's what it takes.
What's Dave Vilwach's line to that? To finish first, you must finish.
He's right. He's 100% right. I tell you, you know, I think I've had all those emotions. So getting the heat where you finished, you saw that, and then also jumping the gun. So I know what that feels like too. It's like, man, you know, you want to get your timing marks, and that's why I came over here, was just to see like what were the timing marks for this heat, and I had some extra time just to, you know, be a student.
Yeah, perfect. That's what it takes, you know, to just keep doing your homework and getting more seat time in the boat, and just find out, you know, what do I need to do to get this boat in the right position to make a good start, and hopefully get out front, get that clean water, as you just said.
Yeah.
The clean water, once you experience the back, it's like, oh my God, I never want to be here again. So
Yep.
that's what it's to take to get to the front.
That's right. That's right. So I did get a good lane draw. I think I'm in lane 1, and John is in 4. I believe it's Greg and then the Freak. I can't remember which order those two are in, but yeah, so this is the time where Brent needs to nail his start. Scott Cropfeld has already been talking a bunch of trash, so just know it's like it's on. It's like, all right, Scott, I got you. I've been hearing it all morning since 6:30, so no, 6 actually. Yeah.
You were up too early.
Maybe, but you know, we had some stuff we had to do.
Talk about Madison a little bit.
Yeah.
First time in the boat, racing on the river, and what did you learn while you were back there?
Yeah, I mean, again, and Dustin, you can speak to this. Grand Prix is a whole different animal, and I have one heck of a boat in the Cool Cat Motorsports boat. Has quite a bit of horsepower. We did put a bigger skid fin on, and that helped. So we felt better in the corners, and you know, again, though, it's really about getting your starts, making sure to find your lane, and just stick with it and see what you get. So learning and growing, that's really Madison.
And then you just keep building on it here.
That's right. That's right.
And you're in lane 1, so you're ready to go. You're ready to jump in there. And
I am.
Take the field down to the entrance bin.
Hey, that's the whole goal, and if I don't, I'll hear about it. Yeah.
Well, the boat's quick.
It's very quick. Yeah, the boat's quick on its feet. Haven't seen anything, you know, alarming yet. So you know, just kind of staying ahead of it. And I guess if you'd pray to the wind gods, I know the winds are supposed to come up a little later this afternoon.
We haven't heard that.
Okay, good.
No, we're optimistic.
Okay, good. So I did not say that then.
And if we have heard it, we're not listening to it.
Right.
So
that's right.
That's not necessarily happening. But no, so far the water conditions out here look really good, and the crowd's growing. It's Columbia Cup 2026. Apollo Columbia Cup. We're all happy to be here. Glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here. I can't tell. Is this what the fans are seeing right now?
This is what the fans are seeing.
Okay. Well, at some point they're going to need to see us because I need to do delivery.
Uh-oh.
So
you have to talk to that guy down there, and then we have to turn around.
Yeah. Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So, Brad, maybe talk to us. How you feeling about the weekend? I get to interview you now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do that, and I think we're going to turn the camera around here. So you and I can turn this way. Why am I nervous?
You shouldn't be.
Oh, I think I probably should be very nervous.
Why? You don't trust your trash-talking point guard?
No, I don't. It's a matter.
Okay, understood.
Okay.
Understood.
We'll get the triumvirate here together.
All right.
We're kind of close proximity here because of just the physical layout here of the tower. But this is the first time. A couple of things here in the live stream. Big news. We are on the tower here for the first time in Tri-Cities, the live stream, and we are on the PA. So
yeah, you know, it sounds great. I'm just going to tell you, hearing everything, hearing your part of the telecast, it just helps us stay closer when we're in the pits working. So appreciate that. Okay.
We are having, and here we are. Here's our
That's us.
This is a pretty condensed little
spot.
Crew. It is a good-looking crew. If I'd get out of it, it'd be great.
No. Just you're part of this good-looking crew. So yes, I have a couple jobs. I'm driving a Grand Prix. I'm helping out with social, and I'm an Amazon delivery driver. And so, yes, I brought something.
Am I worried about this?
This is a package that came from Amazon. Don't break it.
Okay.
Let me hand that to you, and you can open it up and see what's in there.
This is to me.
This is to Brad Luce.
This is a pretty heavy piece of tape on here.
Yeah.
This stuff I know.
I tried to not tape it too hard. Just I didn't want you to work too.
Well, you told me not to break it.
Yeah. Don't worry about the box. Don't worry about the box.
Here, I'll help you here, Brad.
Yeah. Help him out.
The old man needs help.
I don't hear any meows.
No meows. No cool cats. No crew in there. No nothing. No, we wouldn't do that. All right,
Let's see what
keep opening.
Here we go.
All right, now it's wrapped in
Oh my gosh, I know what this is.
What?
I know what this is because you and I have had this conversation. If you will hold the box.
The unveiling.
Oh, this is some nice tissue paper.
You got that? That is some Amazon.
It's like brawny to me.
It's probably. No, I don't even. I think it's Safeway. I don't know. Okay. I wouldn't even give it name brand on that.
Oh my goodness.
Now you're talking.
We are talking here. Let's do this very carefully.
Yeah, don't break it like I told you last time.
I know. And we've even got styrofoam in here.
That's the stand.
Okay, we got it. There's the propeller.
We got the whole thing here.
Yeah.
We do indeed. Check this out.
Remember, hold on to the capsule or make sure that doesn't fall off. Yeah, so let's take them back. Remember, we did a story on the 125th scale models that were at the museum. And one of the things you said, well, do you have anything for older guys? And I said, no, but we're trying to support the current boats, but we do have this one. And then you said, well, do you have one that we could race in the pool? And I said, I got one. And I'm giving you my one.
Wow, you are absolutely the man. This guy, I remember the conversation in San Diego. It was out. Oh my.
So for the fans on the PA, Brad has an exact replica of the 125th scale Goodman real estate boat. Obviously, it's now the BWR boat that Andrew drives, and I know you said this. There's a place on your shelf for this that you're going to put it.
Well, there's a place in the river too. That we got the control.
You got the controller. There's
Want to have
batteries
some
in
fun
there.
during lunch?
Yeah.
Let's go fire this mother up.
See, there he goes. There he goes.
This is absolutely special. You are the man.
Hey, my pleasure.
Thank you very, very much. And those of you watching on the H1 Unlimited live stream, this is very special, and this is a really, really special guy. He gets to work with us. He gets to drive. He gets to have all kinds of fun.
Having fun.
The only reason we'd ever step away from a camera would be because we have boats on the water.
Yes.
But we got him
We
here,
got boats coming.
and he's going to join us on our broadcast right now. Thank you, my friend.
You bet. Thank you for
This
letting
is
me make the
very cool.
delivery. Yep. Good to see you guys.
This is absolutely spectacular. Brent Hall. He's all right.
All right.
Thanks, bud.
Job to do.
Let's talk boat racing.
We've got E350s on the water right now. Pretty cool moment up here on the tower. This is what it's all about. This is pretty cool. All right, on the front straightaway, just coming out of turn number 1 right now. We've got a couple boats. We've got JJW Construction Silver Clouds, Kip Brown in the silver boat. Just outside of him, Bill Strain in the all-white boat. Sponsored by Thorpe Fruit and Antique Mall. Jason Schrock, one of my buddies on the outside there in the all-blue boat. He's sponsored by his checkbook, kind of a joke. He's paying for all this out of pocket, doing a great job though. And one of the coolest stories out here, Rochelle Hill yesterday with a second place, worked so hard. We didn't even have her info on our scores list, but she is sponsored by Haltech and Ice Harbor Brewery. Very, very good, impressive run yesterday. And she basically put the whole new bottom of the boat in between races a week and a half ago and did a great job of getting it out here. And the thing is just awesome fast. And then on the back straightaway, right in the middle there, that's Mike Jarvis in the yellow and blue boat. Another very fast boat. Mike, a great driver. Great to see him out here this weekend. Mike driving for John Bosserman. That's the E62. Just under 2 minutes. We've got a minute and 45 on the clock right now. Great shot of Kip Brown. Wild Bill coming up just on his outside. This is the fight for lanes class. These guys are fighting for lane position. So you see Kip get up there early. He's going to try to secure the inside lane. Bill Strain going to be just on his outside, trying to get lane number 2. That's Rochelle Hill a little ways back and going to end up there in lane 3. Very competitive class here. Small block Chevrolets. You can run a 350, which is pretty much bone stock, or you can run a 305 Chevrolet with some modifications to it to bring the horsepower up just a little bit. This is a really fun class to watch. 1 minute on the clock right now, 1 minute to the start. You see the boats back it down just a little bit. Jason Schrock making sure that he's going to be right on his timing marks there on that dark blue boat. He says, if I can't be on the inside with you guys, I'm going to make sure I can nail it here in lane number 4. So he wants a full head of steam coming down. There's a great shot for you from the drone. All 5 boats side by side. Bill Strain pretty happy with his boat yesterday. They did an awful lot of work on that thing. He got it dialed in, and it looks like it's running really, really nice. Rochelle Hill trying to get a nice run here in lane number 3. Coming up on 15 seconds to the start. Might be a hair early. Jarvis, first one off the corner on the outside. A little early, pulls his foot, but here comes the rest of the field. 4, 3, 2, 1. That's going to be close. We're going to let the referee decide that one, but I'll call it how I see it. It's Schrock out front right now. But there goes Kip Brown, letting her hang on the inside. They head into turn number 1. Brown on the buoys, Wild Bill Strain just on his outside, lane number 2. And that's Schrock and Jarvis deck to deck in lanes 3 and 4. Whoa, and Schrock getting wet there, sliding through the rooster tail, able to keep it on the course. So now you've got Bill Strain on the inside, Mike Jarvis on the outside. Great deck to deck race. Bill Strain pulling ahead now. He puts his foot to the floor. He's got some great boat speed. The Thorpe Fruit and Antique Mall, North Shore Automotive, showing some impressive speed right now, trying to chase down the leader. But Kip Brown is an awful hard one to beat. Veteran driver with some fantastic equipment underneath him. At the end of lap number 1. It's the E3 JJW Construction Silver Cloud Hotels, but Wild Bill not backing down. The fully loaded, the all-white boat, he might be gaining just a little bit. Mike Jarvis back in 3rd place on the outside, lane number 3. Jason Schrock, Rochelle Hill having a great battle now for 4th and 5th. Still waiting to hear if that's a legal start or not. I will let you know as soon as I hear. They're going to go 3 times around. We're on lap 2 of 3 right now. Still Kip Brown out front. About a rooster tail and a half, 2 rooster tail lead now over Bill Strain. Bill Strain doing a great job though, and Mike Jarvis not backing out of it even a little bit. He's within a rooster tail now of Bill Strain, so this is shaping up to be a great race. I just got word in the air, clean start, good legal start. So what you're seeing on the race course is a legal field right now. All boats are legal. End of lap number 2 should be a white flag. It's still Kip Brown with a commanding lead. Bill Strain not letting him get away too far though, and Mike Jarvis is setting his sights on 2nd place. And look at this race for 4th and 5th right now. Rochelle starting to take over 4th place on the outside. That beautiful Wood Carrollson boat. Hill Family Racing doing a great job. In 4th place, and Schrock trying to hang on to 4th, but not sure he's going to be able to do it. He got a little wet earlier in turn number 1. He's just trying to keep that thing on the race course. We've got a half a lap to go. Kip Brown still stretching his lead out just a little bit now. He's got about 3 rooster tails on the field. Jarvis is able to pull up within about 3/4 of a rooster tail on Bill Strain, but not sure he's going to have time to do it here. Checkered flag should be out. Off the final turn here. It's going to be Kip Brown in the E3 Silver Cloud Hotels. JJW Construction. What a great run. And the fully loaded, Bill Strain, nice job. Mike Jarvis, beautiful run. The E62, Rochelle Hill, Ice Harbor Brewery, Haltech ECU's fantastic run, and Jason Strock, beautiful boat. Very fast. That thing's been parked for a little while, but it's great to see it out here racing with the rest of the fleet. He did a nice job. Well done. Kip Brown's off to a great start this weekend. He's going to be a hard one to beat. So that's a great E350 heat. Very impressive. Nice run from Kip Brown. And I believe we have a video, or at least we're going to go down to the pits and look at the lane selection for the H1 Unlimiteds here. We're going to head down to the pits here in just a moment. All right, let's go see what they got going down there.
Jamie's on his way, or so. Same thing as in Madison. So we'll start off. So pick one for 1A. It's going to be the U6. So just boat number, heat 1A with your signature. Just that, your sign. Okay. Perfect. Done. Pick 1B, 21. You just put 1B, what lane you want, your number, and you sign your name beside it. Yeah. Lane 1. Well, you choose what lane you want. Okay. So you took lane 2, U12. 1A. You can go if you want. All right. 1B, 00. Perfect, thank you. U3, 1A. Perfect. U11. 1B. Okay, he took 5. U1. Yeah. Lane 4. There we go. All right. So 1A, we got the 6, 12, 3, 27, 40. 1B is going to be the 00, 21, 11, 1. All right. So we're going to be on the water for. We're starting at 1, so we're going to probably start putting boats in the water at 12:30. We're allowed moving during the air show, so we want to be hitting green flag or start at 1 o'clock. All right. Thank you.
All right, so we just saw the lane assignments, and one thing that I'm a little surprised at is the 40 went for the outside. They must have chose that ahead of time. They must have a good top end setup, and they said, you know, we can run fast, we can run, you know, this thing around the outside and get around these guys. So it looks like in heat 1A, it's going to be lane 1, the 6, lane 2, the 12, lane 3, the 3, lane 4, the 27, lane 5, the 40, the way that I just saw it. And yep, there it is on your screen. The fans at home can see it. In Heat 1B, lane 1 is going to be, I believe it's going to be the 0-0. Wait for that to pop up on the screen also. But again, a little surprised. The 21 went for lane 2, so Gunnar didn't want to put himself in the inside there. Didn't want to risk anything. He thinks he's just fine being out there in lane number 2. So yeah, lane number 1 is going to be the Maverick, J. Michael Kelly. Lane number 2, the Spirit of 76, Gunnar O'Farrell. Lane number 3, that's super fast, FLAV-R-PAC U11, Jamie Nilsen. And we knew Andrew Tate was going to be on the outside, that U1, but yeah, the first heat, the 27 is not going to be on the outside. So a little different than we thought, but this is where all that strategy comes into play. So we're going to see how that's going to lay out. But right now, we've got 2.5 liter stocks on the water and a great class. This is 4-cylinder stock racing, basically a Ford 4-cylinder, or they also could run a Honda engine now. It's a very competitive class. The boat right now, we're looking at the all-yellow Carson Kelly in the S12. This boat is extremely fast. Carson doing a great job driving it, and he's really taken to his own, and I'm not surprised. Carson is the son of J. Michael Kelly. He's got some great help. He's got a great radio person, and he's a great young driver. So that's one of the boats out here to watch. That right there, the S6, we saw him running yesterday. That's Pasco Machine Company, Blockhead Machine, KB Marine, Orca Scuba Center, the sponsor. He's a great driver. Great job that he's been doing this whole year so far. That's Kyle Davenport. I spoke with him a little bit. They're trying to find a little more speed off some Austin Egret there in the green and silver boat on the inside. He had a heat win yesterday, and he's very, very fast. You see Austin in the Grand Prix boats and also out here in the 2.5 liter stocks. So he's always fast and a great driver, really fun to watch. You see both of those boats side by side, just under 3 minutes on the clock. This is another fight for lanes class. So both of those drivers are going to try to get the inside the best they can. As we look at coming down the back straightaway there, that is Cannon Cushing. Cannon, a great young driver, does most of the work on the boat himself. Him and his family, they're here, the WFO Racing. Great group of people. They support all classes of racing. I think Brandon, the dad, probably has about 17 different boats in every class. So it's pretty cool to see him out here working. And I believe they're running a Honda engine in that. Cannon's doing a great job. Another very, very fast boat. Preston Wright's driving the S85 for Juliet Livingston. A really fast boat, great family, great team. And then Kip Brown's daughter, Katie Brown, doing a fantastic job driving her all orange and silver boat. She's cutting across the infield right now, going down to turn number 1. She's going to try to secure lane number 1. So this is where the chess match happens. This is where the drivers are really fighting to secure the lane that they want. If Katie Brown gets that inside and gets a good start with her dad in her ear, she's going to be a tough one to beat. But Katie's right where she wants to be, and she's thinking, this is it, I'm ahead of everybody. But if you look up the back straightaway right now, race fans, you're going to see a bright yellow boat up there. And that's Carson Kelly. He says, you can go wherever you want, but I'm already here. And he's up there way early with 1:15 seconds. But he is really trying hard to secure lane number 1. What a great shot there from the drones. Excellent drone work. I love seeing this stuff. And that just on his outside, that's Preston Wright's in that purple and white boat. Preston's not going to leave much room for anybody to sneak up the inside, so he's staying right on the hip. They're up there pretty early with 50 seconds left. That's Katie Brown, lane number 3, just a little bit back on Preston's outside. They set up there and turn number 2 on the outside. The rest of the field, you can see them there on the drone. They're coming hard on the outside. Now we're going to see if that S6 has a lane there, because there's no place for Davenport to go. Where is he going to go? Austin Egret slides out lane number 4. Davenport does not have a lane in there. These front boats do not have to move over for him. So this is going to cause a little bit of a problem for Kyle. He's got to get in a better position. And it looks like Preston moves over a little bit. That might be a mistake. Davenport goes in there. Oh man, he makes a move. That was tight. 6 seconds. But he's early. Here comes the field. This is going to be a fun one. Wow, what a close start. We'll wait for the referees to tell us, but they're all dead even right now. That's Awesome Austin on the outside, lane number 4. Carson in lane number 1, but he's a little late. Now Davenport leads him in lane number 2. Preston Wright's just on his outside. Not a lot of room in there. It's going to get awful tight. We're 4 wide right now. 4 boats wide. That's Katie Brown, lane number 3, deck to deck with Awesome Austin Egret as they head down the back straightaway. Katie's got a little bit of speed. They're starting to pull ahead of Davenport. Davenport's in lane number 1. Where's Kelly, though? Kelly's in there somewhere. Look at this boat race. Preston falling back just a little bit, but Davenport's going hard. 3 wide. Brown in the middle. Egret on the outside. It doesn't get any better than this right now. Great water conditions. Davenport now pulls up for the lead. They're still 4 wide. Wright's still hiding in the rooster tail there. Katie Brown's going to lead him across. First place right now. Austin Egret hanging it in lane number 3. What a boat race. Davenport on the inside. Shortest way around. Katie Brown's not going to give him any extra room, though. She's doing a great job of keeping him honest. And Egret doing everything he can to hang with him. So right now it's Brown, Egret, Davenport in that order. Wow, what a boat race. Katie is doing a fantastic job just hanging that boat out there, giving it everything she has. The fact that she is staying ahead of Austin right now is incredible, and she is driving her heart out. This is a great one to watch. She closes the door on Davenport. She says, I'm going to the inside now. I've got the overlap. It's Brown on the inside, Egret on the outside, deck to deck. White flag is up. Egret pulls ahead by a boat length right now. And here comes Cushing. Wow, Austin's hanging this thing out. He's giving it everything he has. And the boat that we're not seeing on the screen right now, just hidden in the rooster tail, that's Cannon Cushing. He's on the outside, but he's got boat speed. Less than a lap to go. It's Katie Brown now out front. Austin Egret just on her outside hip. They're dead even. Dead even right now. And Cannon Cushing is just behind both of those boats to the right. I mean, not even a rooster tail back. It's right there. You can see Austin start to get loose. He gets light. He's got to pull his foot out of it. Katie Brown keeps her foot to the floor, and she gains a little bit on him. Austin's boat is really, really loose. Wow, Katie got out of shape. She's doing a great job holding on the pins. Austin takes a bad hop, able to correct though, bounced out a couple lanes. Cushing just on his outside. This is it. This is for the heat win right now. Katie leads him off the corner, lane number 1. Foot to the floor, boat, perfect boat ride. Katie Brown's gonna win this one. Austin Egret, what a fantastic run. And Cannon Cushing in 3rd, Kyle Davenport in 4th, Carson Kelly in 5th. Wow, Travis Olsch gonna be in 6th, and Preston Wright, who was actually battling for the lead for a long time, is gonna be in the back. But what a great run. This class has so much parity. They are so equal. You can really tell how it comes down to the start and fighting for lanes and how close they were. What a great run. Very, very impressive. What a great run by all those teams. And I can't say enough about Katie Brown, the KB Marine boat. I mean, they work really, really hard. Katie recently stepped up from the 1 liter class into the 2.5 liter or 2.5 liter stock class rather, and she is just doing a great job of adapting, and that boat ride is perfect. Her dad's doing a great job of making it drivable, adapting to her style, and anytime that you can run with Austin Egret, that is a win. And the fact that she was able to beat him right there is pretty incredible. And I think the story that is going to become a story as the weekend goes on. Hang on just for a second here. All right. I was just talking with the referee. We did have one gun jumper in that heat. Preston Wrights did jump the gun, and unfortunately that was a penalty, but also Preston did finish towards the back, so it's not going to change the outcome at all. Katie Brown with an absolute perfect start and is going to pull out the heat win, so very impressive. But like I was saying, Cannon Cushing, he came from the back and was able to reel in those two front boats, and he came through the slop in the dirty water and was able to pull that off to get a third. That is very, very impressive, and that's a new team in this class, and they should be very, very proud of themselves. And as the weekend progresses, I look forward to seeing Cannon and that boat keep progressing. That's a big win for those guys. So as we let the water settle right here and we regroup for our next heat, we're going to step away just for a brief second and take a quick break. We will be right back with you, fans. Signing off just for a couple minutes. Be right back.
Back here on the start-finish line, Brad Luce along with Dustin Eccles, and I had to step away for a couple of minutes, and I appreciate the assist here. You took that last heat, but that was a barn burner.
You left me with a good one. That was fun to watch.
Holy cow. That was really good. So we've only got a couple of minutes here because our air show is on deck. We also have the national anthem. I took those stairs two at a time. I don't normally do that. But we want to do our Pick the Props segment. And so we got to go through this pretty quick. I believe this is the order we are choosing in. Yes, it is from left to right. And we do this like we qualify H1 Unlimited boats. The person with the fewest amount of points has to pick first. So first up on our list is Mr. Hall. Brent is got pick number 1, and for this pick, he can pick any boat he wants for the weekend, and it's his all weekend long, and he has taken the U1. So he took Andrew Tate, pretty good pick.
That's a pretty safe pick.
The stat man, he's next to last in points. You know, we have to say that about him.
I got to take our Gold Cup winner, Brad.
There you go. So you heard Nick. He's taking the U27. Yours truly. I'm not sure who I picked. I think I took the 40. Yes, I did. I took Dylan Runne. So I've got Dylan Runne with my first pick. Now the deal here on these picks is you can only pick on your first pick from the boats that have not yet been chosen. So the field's getting a little thin here. And then we go to our YouTuber. How about that? We got a YouTuber, Tom 4Ace here. Tom, yep, there he is. He has picked the U11, and there's a lot of people, I think, that know who that individual might be. But he has picked the U11. Dustin, then it was yours, so take it away.
And I have to go back in the memory bank here, but I believe I went with the U3 Corey Peabody.
Did indeed, and then our pit reporter, Danny Rogers, let's see who she chose. Well, she went with Strong Racing as well, took J. Michael Kelly with her first pick. Now, everybody gets a second boat, but the key here is you can pick any boat you want. So everybody on our crew here could pick the same boat, but the key is you can only pick that particular boat with your second pick once all season. So whoever you chose with the second pick a week ago or 2 weeks ago in Madison, you can't pick that boat again. So we'll see who Mr. Hall has. He has taken, Jimmy Shane comes off the board for Hall, so that means he's got him this week. Looks like a good pick, but he can't touch him the rest of the year. How about the stat man? Nick, what did you do?
I took the guy that says if you're not first, you're last on this course. I took Corey Peabody.
Corey Peabody, and that's a good pick. He's had a lot of luck on this course. I think I went with the fact that there's a frustrated Andrew Tate floating around after what happened in Madison and what happened out here last year. I think he's focused. I think Andrew Tate's the boat to go, so I picked Andrew for that one. Our guest picker, he also went with the 27, as did Brent Hall. He went with Jimmy Shane. Dustin, where are you going?
Well, I believe that I did the same thing. You know, how can you go pick against Jimmy Shane? I mean, he's on fire right now.
And boy, Jimmy Shane's going to be lonesome when we get to Seattle and San Diego when it comes to second. Yes, indeed. So Danny Rogers, she went with Andrew Tate with her pick. So those picks are coming off the board. And remember, whoever you've got for this weekend, you got 4 heats, so you've got 4 opportunities to gather points. So there are the picks for the pick the prop. We're going to turn it around very quickly. Remember, this is Dustin. We're gonna show this here on the. There it is, right there, the pick the prop trophy. And let me tell you, Dustin, this is like the APBA Gold Cup. I'd let you touch it, but you can't. You can't touch it unless you win it.
Bad luck.
You're not gonna win. Anyway, so pick the prop, courtesy of our stat man and our producer. He pulled this together. So there's our little prop, and we have fun with it. We'll do it all year long. Pick the prop. You'll follow us. We've got our boats. Now we are going to give up the river. It's time for the air show. Again, I want to thank you for yeoman's duty here during that last heat. But as I watched the last 2 laps, I was sorry I wasn't up here to be a part of it.
What a great heat. What a great heat. We have so much more to look forward to this weekend because that was incredible.
So we are targeting to be back on the broadcast at 1 o'clock. We got a 2-hour window here for the air show, and that is coming up next, along with there may be another piece or 2 of the opening ceremonies, but we are going to step away right now. So for Danny Rogers, Dustin Eccles, and myself, Brad Luce, we're going to say so long from the start-finish line tower. It's the 2026 Apollo Columbia Cup in the Tri-Cities of Washington. We'll be back at 1 o'clock.
Hi, I'm Corey Peabody. You're watching H1 Unlimited on YouTube.